We set out this year with an ambitious project, a rebirth of Overwatch Esports, a truly open system where anybody could compete and anybody could win. Our two finalists have stood the test of time. Multiple challenges comes their way. Matt, one more question. Who is the best Overwatch team in the world?
Yeah, you say anybody can win, anybody can compete, but it felt like once we saw these two rosters come into shape, these were the teams we were going to have here at the end. Crazy Raccoon has looked so good all year long, but it's more in a what have you done for me lately type of esport, right? And right now, Falcons looks to have the upper hand.
Memories are short in esports, there's no doubt about it. And the most vivid picture in our minds are the ones holding up the cup at the end of it here. Crazy Raccoon obviously were our victors out in Dallas. They managed to win that major and looked incredible doing it, but the balance of power, especially in that APAC region, as the competition came internationally, always left us wondering who would be the team left standing when the smoke cleared.
Yeah, now when you have these two teams on the stage, right? We already saw this match today. Falcons looked tremendous. What has Crazy Raccoon done in the last, obviously they beat Toronto, but what have they done to now make this match a little bit closer?
It's a first to four series, folks. And again, we are looking at a Crazy Raccoon that have come up through this lower bracket, favored coming into this tournament. Many of the whispers saying this was the team to watch, but Falcons were imperious in that upper final.
We know what these two teams are going to play. The composition's not going to change that much. We'll just see who can play it better, who's the stronger team.
Here we go, Overwatch Nation. One more time. Crazy Raccoon and Falcons throwing down on Oasis. And we're going to waste no time in getting into the action. Again, expect to see these Malga comps predominate through this series. It's all about these early damage trades. If Chorong is hit with a stop early on, picked off, but he's saying his least is able to get involved with a focusing beam. We've got two Briggs now down. Let's look and try and clean up, and Stalker gets a little bit too close.
And that's got to be good there for Crazy Raccoon, right? Get a fight win early here, pick up some few kills. Still have some players up on the high ground here. For Falcons, if they're going to try and contest, go on in, but Crazy Raccoon in a good spot to take the point first.
Jumbin tucks into the corner here, is going to force Smurf to move out more into the open. Lip's looking for an opportunity, but it's a regroup. What timing! The stop comes in just as Lip emerges from the Wraith Walk. Fielder going to drop yet again, but Stalker always seems to be there with that focusing beam. Crazy Raccoon still in control, but not for much longer at this rate as Chorong will eventually capitulate.
17% is really nothing. I mean, that is just kind of getting on the point. You have it for a few seconds. The fight comes in. Falcons, they have a few players that still linger there on the high ground, so they're able to kind of come from both sides, and Crazy Raccoon not able to deal with it.
Lip knows that he's being tracked. As he pops out of the Wraith Walk, he gets stunned up in that last fight. He needs to be a little more calculated about how he maneuvers around the map. A lot of damage on Smurf early here. Crazy Raccoon want to try and go for it. Stomp on the proper. He's here with the shield bash. Stalker with a Duke Reaper now. Knocked out of it, but Lip with the death loss to define 3. Just what the doctor ordered. Probably not a great doctor, but hey. Crazy Raccoon get the flip back as Falcons have some time in this stun.
Yeah, and something Falcons did really well in the last series against Crazy Raccoon, right, is Stalker goes for the dupes onto the Reaper, builds up that Death Blossom, and then ends up using it, right? You're trying to get the bash out of the Brig, then you come back with Proppers. That time, dupes the Reaper got taken out right away.
Coco wants to go forward here. Death Blossom going to be thrown in. He's amongst the cage fight. He's staying with the Duke Reaper himself. It's Lip getting stunned up, but he can't get healed up enough. Stalker's able to bring him down here, and he's staying with a free Death Blossom, but Smurf mostly able to shrug it off. He backs up, and Team Falcons receives the push from Crazy Raccoon and hit him twice as hard. Proper does fall. He's saying foul one to Blossom. He's saying trying for some focusing beam value, but Smurf withstands it. And Falcons are back in control.
Yeah, you have a little bit of advantage here for Falcons coming into the fight, right? You have the rally pretty impactful. Last fight, the both support ults used by Crazy Raccoon. So they're trying to take an early fight, maybe get that rally out early, maybe catch a player off by surprise. Doesn't work. Point back in favor to Falcons.
Big day for the Raccoons, but both their series were short, at least. They're warmed up and ready to go. It's going to be Stalker falling first. Lip playing from the outside of the cardiac overdrive, but it's time to go in. Geronimo's just been diving forward, but it's Smurf that takes the brunt of the Hellfire shotgun damage, and Proper can't get out in time. This is about as close as it gets, folks. Crazy Raccoon flip it yet again.
Yeah, and if you're a Crazy Raccoon fan, I mean, this is good to see early on, right? Much more competitive in these fights.
It's tit for tat, fight for fight.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back and forth here. That time, Chorong with the rally. This will be interesting, though. Both orbital rays here available.
Shu just got his online. Stalker also looking to probably dupe a Reaper here, get a free Death Blossom. No stun available for Choron though with the rally. Here we go. Stalker drops in like Batman. Eventually wants to jump out though. Orbital Ray thrown in, and that's tough to get damage on Heastang. He's going to dupe a Reaper himself, but has to Wraith walk basically straight away. Stalker repositions, wants to force the backline away, and Smurf has the same idea. In we go. Choron's shield pushed to its limits. He's able to stay alive and pick up the Mega. Oh my goodness, it's death-defying air kick from the Brig. In the meantime though, Falcons win the fight over on the point. And they will be able to take it back at 96 to 62.
Yeah, although Choron able to live, they just got so separated there, right? You saw Smurf go in with a really nice stomp, push Choron out, away from the rest of the team, not able to kind of play with the Crazy Raccoon squad on the point. So Team Falcons doing a nice job separating the supports from the rest of the squad, flips the point.
Choron gets such little ult charge from that fight. He's been aggressive. Takes fight early. Heastang fell to the focusing team straight away. Nobody from Falcons left inside the cage, so Lip has to push a little bit harder for these picks. Chew is down, but Stalker got a little bit too low. What a stun! Oh, Lip didn't know what hit him. Falcons like, with the numbers now.
This feels like the only fight that we've seen the same team win 2 fights in a row, right? It may end up deciding everything.
There's not enough time here for Crazy Raccoon. There'll be a touch from Heastang. He gets there, recalls the whip shot, rung out. He's gonna have to avoid Proper, who's more than happy to take the fight. Here's Lip with the Wraith Walk to try and stall out a little bit more as well, but Falcons are ready for that as well. And that'll be a first round to Falcons.
Better from Crazy Raccoon. Still not enough though. Falcons wins the first round here. No, they actually tried to use Junbin's cage, right? Get around the corner, maybe trap somebody right away, burn him down. They turn the corner and nobody's home. Everybody from Falcons kind of went out the opposite side of the door through where that health pack is. You end up getting a kill early on, and that sets themselves up great. Yeah.
Playing around the outside of the cage, it's like, surely someone is close enough for me here? Too dangerous for him to get in and find a kill. Just a small error for Crazy Raccoon. Falcons with the maneuverability there. All right, so let's run it back to City Center. Sim TP's out for both sides, and we are in the fray.
Yeah, it'll be Crazy Raccoon here and Falcons both trying to fight over this high ground, right? It's proper. Instead gonna go up the lift. We're gonna have everybody here up on the lift.
Okay, Proper gets out of that little snap move. Oh, it is waiting with open arms. Smurf gonna fall very low to this one with Stalker. Catching too much of Heastang's damage. Crazy Raccoon get a good fight to start.
Yeah, you get control of the point first here, right? This is a point that you can hold on for a very long time, especially with these type of comps, which are pretty high sustain. You can kind of play around that central pillar. You can just have players just flood in from the spawn constantly. So getting control here first, quite big.
Awkward, both teams obviously fighting for that high ground control. Falcons really knew they had to kind of commit. Doesn't work out for them, so now through the choke, but here comes Junbin first with a stop. He's staying over the top, wants to pepper Smurf down, but can't burst him entirely. So needs to drop cooldowns and back up. He's a cardiac overdrive from Falcons, but Smurf is starting to run low on that utility. It's Proper though, that's able to find an edge for Falcons, and they surge up onto the point.
Yeah, Lip still plays on that close corner, right? With the rest of his team just kind of bails. So nobody there to help him out. That's going to be both Maugas running into each other, knocking each other down. But you have that Reaper still available on the point here for Falcons. And when that Reaper goes unchecked, especially when it's proper, you're going to see lots of damage, a few kills. The Falcons taking the point.
Smurf knew that Junbin was about to turn around and charge back to the rest of his team, so he hits a mutual knockdown. And the prone Mauga is an easy pickup for Proper.
You notice Smurf trying to do that as well, right? When we're on with that free cam and Junbin uses the charge to get on in. Smurf tries to use his charge, like lopes it around the corner and tries to just land right on top of Junbin, stun that Mauga, get him taken out early.
Good damage on the shoe early, but it's going to be an all the way from both sides. Oh, that gets buffeted around there. In the eye of the storm, trying to find a target, but Chia's going to bring him down. It's a rally now being popped by both Greeks. There's a TP forward from Proper. Falcons want to play around the point if they can. Stalker's going to have a free death loss on Human, doesn't have enough time to get a full channel off, and now he's going to be caught in the cage after the fact. The focusing beam won't bail him out. Junbin's a little bit low and there's not much healing here for Crazy Raccoon. Falcons have a chance here to extend into the lead.
Yeah, I don't think this is winnable here for Crazy Raccoon because you still have Proper and both supports alive against like 2 or 3 really weak players there for Crazy Raccoon. And there's no way you're going to just kind of barrel into the Reaper, even though he doesn't have great, for like damage at range to deal with the Echo. Still, you're going to have to get close enough that Proper would have won that. So a lot of time here gained by Falcons.
Good stickies on Chio, that forced him out of line of sight. Proper also went low in that same window. Here comes the Duke from Heastang. Cage fight thrown down though. Crazy Raccoon trying to trap Falcons in with them. But they might regret this decision awful quick. Shoot desperately trying to stay alive, and Smurf charges on through. Big Bad bustling, and he means business. And business is good.
Now 75% on the point, right? Huge advantage here for Falcons. You're going to have Rally and Orbital Ring, both your damage dealer ults. And look at the side of Crazy Raccoon. I mean, you're going to have absolutely nothing to work with. It's going to be damn near impossible.
Yeah, you might be right there, Matt. Falcons push out here, push the line of scrimmage up. 90% and counting. Here's the jump back in for Smurf, and it's going to be a dead blossom for Proper to follow it up. He catches you. Both supports down. No healing left for Crazy Raccoon. And Falcons read them the riot act. Overtime, you will tick down, and who's supposed to touch? It's just he staying left. It's a forlorn hope. Falcons snap up the first map in a blink of an eye.
That was quick there in map number 1. I think Falcons, they just understand like the tempo and the pace of the game, right? You see that push and pull constantly between teams in Overwatch, especially in this meta right now. Seems like Falcons is just kind of hitting all the right buttons, right? They know exactly when they want to push, when they want to get aggressive, when to bail out. They have a great read in terms of the ultimate economy. They're just clicking on all cylinders.
Two sides of the same coin, right? That first round we saw a massive disengage by Falcons away from Junbin's cage fight, where Lip is trying to push up and trying to get some extra kills. In that second round on City Center, they push up after taking control, and they dive in with Smurf and Proper with the Death Blossom.
I mean, you're at 80+%. You know you have a large ultimate advantage, right? Going into that fight, you've seen everything kind of come out from the other side. Why not be the aggressor, right? Why allow them to come in, take that space? They go right in early, they get like 2 kills, and at that point, the round's over and the map's over.
We're seeing cage fight used in such different ways, whether it's to try and capture multiple players, or even I think we saw Junbin just try and get Stalker inside one, right? He was like a Duke's Reaper, throw the cage fight down as he comes out, and knows 1v1 Malgus is still going to beat an Echo, even with all that burst damage and focusing beam available.
The one thing early on, and he talked a little bit about it with like Stalker kind of duping those Reapers constantly and getting away with stuff. If you notice on the other side, right, whenever Heesang goes to that dupe, it's like a cage, and then he's gone early. Like he is out of that Reaper early, back into Echo. They do a great job over on the Falcons side of focusing down that Echo, not letting get tons of value out of adding another Reaper out there on the field.
That's something we've seen emerge today, at least, is the Bricks trying to save that shield bash, but when you have a Duped Reaper that comes in and gets a free Death Blossom, it kind of forces that rally bash out, and then the real Reaper, the genuine article, gets in with the Death Blossom after the fact. There are so many things to keep account for, and the Brick players end up being the centerpiece in so many of these exchanges of ultimates, even in this metagame.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rally obviously huge in a more defensive way, and you see Orbital Ray as well. Obviously, be extremely strong, right? Whenever teams use that Orbital Ray, push in behind it, especially with Maga Reaper, it's going to be a fight win.
Now, we've got a bit of a moment to breathe through after Matt Bomber getting over to Golden Boy with a very special friend of ours.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. I am here with someone who y'all might know if you watch a fair amount of Overwatch. Folks, give it up for Avril! All right, man, we just saw Falcons pick up that dub. Give me the analysis. Break it down. You're way smarter than me in this game, so let's go ahead. What should the fans be expecting going into map 2?
Yeah, I think this is a final that is really looking like what we saw in Dallas already. It's Amalgamator again, and in this type of matchup, Falcons have proven themselves to be better than Crazy Raccoon in this particular mirror. Now, in Dallas, we saw Junbin. He won the MVP for that tournament by playing a lot of ball, playing a lot of hog. Falcons are not letting him do that. They have first map choice. They got Oasis twice in a row. There's no Ilios here. There's no Balk here. We're not seeing Lip playing some of this hard hits on the Ash, on the cast. He's been forced to play Reaper. A lot of his carry potential is gone. This is where the proper Stalker duo, you see, they're currently outplaying Lip and Heesang by a lot.
What does Crazy Raccoon need to do in order to be able to pick this up, at least stay competitive, since they're, well, pretty much down 4 maps right now to what Falcons have been doing today?
Yeah, I think right now Heesang needs to set up versus Stalker big time as well, but if there's an opportunity to put Lip back on a hard hit scan, find a map we can play the ball, I mean, this is a first to 4. I mean, you could see this go back to the control. Ilios could still be on the table.
Yeah, well, look, you're looking for Lip to maybe give the other guys a fat lip. That's pretty much what the deal is here. Thank you so much, Avril, for your time. Give it up for Avril one more again, and let's send it over to the desk.
Thank you so much, Alex. And hello, Avril. Long time no see. You can find him all around the venue. Actually, I've seen him literally every day, every hour. He's been everywhere.
He's been touring the event, yeah.
He's touring the event.
Yeah, well, he's
a festival. It's DreamHack, man. It's DreamHack. There's a lot going on, a lot to see, a lot of people to meet. and there's a lot of highlights to watch as well. So let's dive into this very first map. Falcon is taking this one and securing their lead in the series. Much alike what we've seen in their first bout, really. There's just a lot of aggression and a lot of players we can highlight from the Falcon squad.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons, they looked so solid when we saw them on Oasis last time, and the first round was really competitive, really close, but I feel Falcons are staying confident, staying aggressive. I like that focus on Keystang. They're not letting him get value. They're continually punishing him. And I think Chio and Fielder right now are just unkillable, right? Even when one drops, they're so quick to trade. They're so quick to strike back. These two supports, I think, are really making a huge difference here.
Yeah, and as well, I think Smurf is doing a great job on the Mauga. You know, we see a lot of these engages. We talk about how big of a difference maker Echo can be in these, getting individual picks, of course, but also the way that Falcons are maintaining space and protecting space as well. We see as well Smurf utilizing the cage, of course, to sometimes shut down the potential pushes we saw here in the second round, for example. Keystang goes for an aggressive play, duplicating the Reaper, trying to go in somewhat, and Smurf shuts it down with the cage fight. But also, we've seen them utilize Smurf, for example, using the counter charge to knock down the enemy Mauga as well. And that as well, that protects that space. They make sure that your Reaper has good angles and get a lot of damage out within. So I've been really impressed by Falcons, of course. They have the individual play and the offensive pushes they do around corners, but also the way they're protecting space and making it difficult for Crazy Raccoon to play their own game.
Yeah, now, of course, a map pick for Crazy Raccoon. Where do they want to take us?
For me, Zoe, I think it's time to bring out Gibraltar. I think it's time to change the tempo and just put a map win up against Falcons. You haven't done that yet today. You've got to start somewhere. If I were Team Falcons and I lose a map, I would also instantly pick Escort to get it out of the pool, to deny that possibility for Crazy Raccoon. So I think if they're gonna make the comeback, it's got to start here. The scary thing though is that's kind of a one and done play, right? Yes, you could pick Escort now, you could pick Gibraltar, but that's your last chance at it, and it's gonna be gone. So we'll see. Maybe they have a different read. I mean, in the end, you have to be confident that you can win the Amalgamator. In the end, nothing else matters. Looks like we did get confirmation. It is going to be a Suravasa pick coming out. So the same strategy, essentially, that they ran last time, maybe some adjustments to the team play. They did win that first flashpoint on Suravasa, so maybe there's something they can build off there.
I mean, they look dominant in that very first round, 100-0. So obviously, maybe feel like they can change something up in the consecutive rounds, Zoe.
Yeah, so they looked dominant in the first round. You're saying what went wrong in the second round then? Like, where did it fall apart? Was it once again just bad ult usage, little mistakes?
I think Falcons just has a better read on positioning in these maps. Like, aside from the first point where, yes, they lost the first fight and kind of got snowballed out from there, when Falcons gets map control, when they're able to set the terms of the engagement, they're fighting so effectively at the perfect positions in the map, not letting the opponent really take any position for free. Or sometimes, based on the map, they're playing really passive. They're sitting back. They're letting the opponent come to them. And I feel Falcons just has a really sharp read on which is better in which situations. Sometimes they're very passive. They're allowing the other team to go first, confident that they can react perfectly and make no mistakes. Here we see in this team fight, typically we've seen this comp be all about going first, teams charging into the enemy spawn. But here Falcons says, no, we're going to sit back. We're going to let you come to us. We're just hanging out on the back of the point, waiting for some kind of initiation to come in. And Falcons has point control, right? Like, they don't really have to force anything. They run the clock down. Here we see that Reaper copy instantly focus, instantly burn, and the cage fight in friendly territory is just too much for Crazy Raccoon. They can't get in. Even a stagger kill onto the Mauga delays this fight, right? Staggering it out, buying more time. Each of these few seconds, they do matter. And so, I mean, Falcons, they just have a real mastery of this comp. It's not one note. They're not only aggressive, only passive. They're just perfectly reading the scenario and reacting.
Yeah, let's see what Raccoon got up in their sleeve as we're heading into our second map of the series. Falcons won one, but it's a long road to go to hoist that trophy on stage. So let's get back into the action and send it over to Mitch and Matt.
Thank you. So yeah, first of all, it's a long series, right? It's the kind of series that we reserve for games like this. We can truly put the team through the ultimate test to decide who our champion's going to be.
And I agree with like a lot of what Jake said there, and I think you kind of see it with the Suravasa map pick. I don't think there's anything that Crazy Raccoon, like, you're not going to see them go with like a ball or try and use some type of comp like that. You know, maybe Escort, you can play a little bit more dive, especially like on Gibraltar, but you're going to have to beat them in the Amalgamator at some point, right? There's only just so many games that you're going to have to kind of take it to them, so they feel like Suravasa may be the best bet.
Well, Team Falcons, after winning the first map, said, hey, we got any other world champions sitting behind the stage? Oh, Smurf out, Hanbin in, yep.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Embarrassment of riches for Falcons in more ways than one. And I mean, you see Hanbin, right, you know, coming in here. We see typically Smurf, right, plays a lot of the control maps. Then we kind of see them like alternate bringing in Hanbin. I mean, another phenomenal tank.
And again, stylistically, like these two players have shown us much of the same, but we have seen Hanbin come in and show us the clean on occasion. Right? We talked about, yeah, you're going to win the Malgamir at some point, but we've seen this team be able to flex over. It was against teams that wanted to try and buck the Malga trend. You might see Falcons be very confident playing the same way all the way through.
Well, why change anything? I mean, like GB would mention with Afro, I mean, thank God we don't have an extended series, right? Just keep it rolling from there. We're 4 maps straight here for Falcons. Why even change? Man, I tell you what, the way these people they applaud pigeons, we gotta do an event in New York.
I mean, if they're gonna clap for you, they're gonna clap for pigeons, Matt.
I mean, hey, look, I think I'm cooler than the pigeons. Just by a tad.
Yeah, duly noted.
Just by a tad.
Well, let's see here, we have our Malga comps hovered already. Lucio, a little burst of speed to get you out of the spawn, and then we will be off and running into Suravasa. Saddle up, nerds, it's time for map 2. Of course, we'll be fighting around in the middle point of the map here. And one thing was noted that Crazy Raccoon were less interested in being the instigators in that last map. Let's see if they take some tempo this time.
It just seems like Falcons just controls the pace of the game at all moments. See right here, Junbin takes a lot of damage early on.
What a great angle to help him in. There's not a lot that can be done. Lip was trying to watch 3 different people at once. Great positioning here by the Reaper at the start of the fight. It is a trade though. Note that Heartbeat was brought down. Falcons confident enough still to move to the point without their tank.
Yeah, and you can't exactly push in without your Reaper, right? You lose your Reaper early on there. For Crazy Raccoon, there's no way you're going to send your Malga into the Death Chamber with Proper still on the point.
Chasing his first World Championship still, Matt. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy to think about.
He's staying over the top here. The torpedoes come in for healing, but it might not be enough. Oh, focusing beam from Stalker actually interrupts Heesang as he tries to go to work on Hanbin. Still, Hanbin was low enough to be picked up after the fact here with the trades continue to favor Falcons. Good spot for Stalker to be able to lift out with a shot off most of that focusing beam with a Wraith Walk. And the Raccoons here have the edge. Squeak out a fight. Chu does get brought down by Chia, but that's the best he could do.
It'll be 60%, a little bit higher, 61 for Falcons. And for Crazy Raccoon, they just got to get one map. Like, just get the ball rolling, get the confidence going, because right now, I mean, it's got to be brutal, right? You're up on stage playing a lot of the same maps. You've lost all of them. Just getting a map win, regardless of any way you do it, right? You know, maybe some kind of crazy things happen in some of these fights. You end up winning a map. That kind of changes the whole dynamics.
Hanbin trying to reposition there as Junbin went for the throat. It's going to be Lip playing from the outside of the cage fight with the Death Blossom here, and Hanbin is taking the brunt of that damage. Stalker was knocked out of Doom there. He had no chance for a Death Blossom of his own, it seems. And he sang alongside Lip, so much damage from 4 Hellfire shotguns at the same time. Spider-Man moment.
and well, we were talking about in map number 1, right? When Heesang was using the dupe, it was Team Falcons that was able to focus fire him down really fast. That time it's on the opposite end, right? Stalker gets taken out right away. Heesang able to live for a while there on the Reaper to make it work.
Back to brass tacks now as Crazy Raccoon have control the point at 85 and counting. It's Junbin that charges over towards the point there. Chio taken down. No Juno here for Falcons, but it doesn't seem to bother him too much. Crocker finds a great angle yet again, and there's a cage fight to play defensively from within. But Junbin ties through it, goes for the point. Crazy Raccoon, give this fight up.
How does Proper just get into your backline and kill both supports? I mean, you give up one of your own, right? You give up Chio if Fielder's still alive, but man, the value that Proper gets there, right? A TP into the backline, just basically deletes Chorong from existence and then deals with Shu pretty easily. I mean, you gotta keep these 2 players alive for Crazy Raccoon if you're even gonna have a chance.
Proper there, backed up by Junbin, who goes in for the jump, and Hanbin has the counter stomp. A little bit low with Junbin, but elsewhere, Lip says, I'm gonna put this back. Chased down by Fielder, 1 Fielder. Now with the help of Chio to try and stop Lip, and Proper was able to make short work of Crazy Raccoon elsewhere, so Lip, man, it was a Hail Mary, let's be honest. Not enough to get the first flashpoint. Falcons start with the lead.
Yeah, it's like a lose-lose situation there, right? Somebody needs to go and contest the point. Lip obviously has the best chance to do that. The issue is you're not going to win a fight on the front line, right? Without Lip being there, right? So he gets the point, gets on it, is working towards, potentially flipping it, but the rest of the team dies. Falcons easily goes and retains that first flashpoint.
Hanbin here just to reposition back to the point now. In come the Raccoons, they got an orbital ray to play with now. Death Blossom started off for a proper though. Oh, he caught Chu! Chu still gets the orbital ray off though. Can Crazy Raccoon work with this now with an extra ring for in play? They get rid of Fielder. The Chio is still standing. Free Blossom for Heastang now will create some space. Enough to start the cap here for Crazy Raccoon. But Stalker's got one of his own. Dive deep, hit Chu and try and go for the win. The Crazy Raccoon dispersed away from that Doomed Reaper. Stalker in over the top there, sees an opportunity to pick off Heastang, but the cage fight, he lets himself get caught in it. And Crazy Raccoon clean it up.
And Falcons kind of got the action they wanted there, right? They had the later orbital ray, they kind of push on in, but that time it's a really nice cage fight, plus a rally there from Chorong. They're able to actually kind of use some of the pillars to get away from that Death Blossom that Stalker had in dupe, avoid a lot of that damage, use the rally to keep everybody top up and inside that cage.
They lost Shu right at the start of the fight. It's crazy how the Raccoons were able to bounce back.
Right.
Now they were working with the cage fight from Hanbin. That is the focus in this fight. Here's the Hyper Ring pushing up. Junbin tries to start the fight, but straight into the cage he goes. Can he emerge now? Fetid in the middle of the storm, and Hanbin trying to burn him down with those bullets. Lip and Heastang are gone, and the Raccoons have no teeth.
It's just you have to use so many healing resources to keep Junbin up. I'm amazed they were able to keep him up for that long, let alone, right? As I know they keep him alive through a lot of that cage fight, but you eventually lose Heastang and Lip. At that point, everything falls. You did end up getting 63%. You have a DPS, I know a little bit of an ultimate advantage at the moment, but you're going to be able to even this up though if you're Falcons.
Proper's going to get caught here. Comes out with a Blossom instead. Okay, they're going to find one with the backup there from Falcons. They just seem so solid here, but they've got a bit of a deficit to make up already. Stalker there, hit the stickies, but he's very, very healthy now, just going for the old faithful. A try shot not enough to claim the elimination, but both Echoes are off the map now. Still ticking up. Falcons are able to flip midway through the fight, and Junbin would like to ask for more, but he lacks the backup.
Yeah, and typically you would actually see Stalker in that type of situation use the Duke to get his health back, but he's fighting the Echo. There's really nobody to be able to do that. It's going to be a rally from Fielder here to kick things off.
What can he make use of this? He's waiting for a Death Blossom from Lip, but it might be a little bit too late. Proper jumps in over the top of the cage fight now, and Lip is going for it. Fielder didn't have to interrupt it though. Hardbin falls. Junbin at least able to find the one kill of Crazy Raccoon. It's just not enough. Another wild charge in there, and he's saying he's doing his darndest to try and keep them in this fight, but Junbin eventually succumbs, and Falcons clock up a second flashpoint.
And to see Falcons doing this to Crazy Raccoon right now just shows what, like, they're on such another level, right? You win this 5 in a row. We just saw what CR did to Toronto Defiant, a very good team, right? You know, they kind of ran through them. There's clearly levels to this at the moment. Falcons seems to be on one of their own.
And every time Junbin charges in, it feels like he's being exploited. Hanbin's catching him in a cage fight, nuking him down, or Falcons go for an engage of their own. That's a mutual knockdown there. Look at Chorong, so aggressive, looking for Chio there, but he's able to stay alive. Proper's holding on to this Death Blossom, may not need to use it. Stalker loses the 1v1. He's saying one of the preeminent Echoes in the world, trying to get away. But from the top rope, Fielder comes in with a whip shot and cleans him up.
It's just like how Jake mentioned, though, and it's like what we've been talking about, where a little bit more defensive there and just kind of changing up how these fights are being taken, right? Junbin that time charges in the Hanbin, and then they just start like playing a little bit of a neutral game, right? Some focus fire coming down, and then as Junbin gets low, then the cage fight comes down.
Oh, Heastang was not ready for that at all. He always had a dupe available. No chance to leverage it though, and Falcons are looking for a quick Saravasta win here. And Crazy Raccoon scrambling for ideas, looking for a way out, but the water's up to their neck already.
How to even see a path here now for Crazy Raccoon. It's really behind probably this orbital ray that Shu's going to build up. But if that doesn't work, I mean, you were staring down the barrel being 2-0 real fast.
I mean, this is the fight right here. Fielder has a rally coming up. There's going to be a potential Duke Blossom to fight against. There's the charge. Look at him go. Wow, Fielder just tries to take it to Chio. Gets him involved, but Chio gets getting picked up by the focusing beam. Stalker doesn't get to spend much time in Malga form there. And Fielder's rally, helping Falcons stay nice and healthy, but Raccoon have that cardiac overdrive. What a whip shot back on Heastang. No value from the Death Blossom whatsoever, but was still forced to disengage by the Falcons.
Yeah, but now you're going to be able to come back here for Falcons. You're going to have Chio's orbital ray. There's going to be Hanbin jumping in to start it off.
Big charge! Lands on Proper straight away. And there's a cage fight waiting. Raccoon is going to try and wait out this orbital ray. Going to be a mutual knockdown here. Junbin's still healthy. Lip has a Blossom, but he's very, very low. He got rid of Hanbin though, and again, Fielder. It's just a matter of course to pick him up. Crazy Raccoon dig their heels in.
But that's the type of fight that they needed, right? Something to just kind of break their way. Orbital Ray used by Chio, and what happens right after that? It's 2 kills. Flip and Junbin picking them up for Crazy Raccoon instantly, pretty much making that Orbital Ray useless. Now you have a little bit of advantage here for Crazy Raccoon coming in. So, so this is an advantage to kind of get back into this. They just needed something to go their way. That was it.
We are going to have 2 cage fights, though. This is going to get very volatile very quick. Hartman builds it, goes for the cage straight away. Lick Bang from the outside, dives in and says, here's a flower. Take a sniff. But Stalker was able to catch 2 on the outside. What was that? Falcons able to break back in. Fielder's rally. Instrumental, Matt.
Yeah, Fielder with a rally there towards the end. Now is going to keep using that rally, getting everybody here to the point.
Okay, desperation time for Crazy Raccoon. It looks like there should be a flip back at 99.99. Junbin has to time this perfectly. Over the top, looking for a touch, whip shot, shield bash, forced away, slapped silly by the brig. And there's just no fight left in this Raccoon squad. Proper gets a Death Blossom and a desperation for Crazy Raccoon. Fizzles out. That's 2 in a row, folks.
Same comps, same maps, same results. Falcons just continuing to play phenomenal here in Stockholm. You got a sense for somebody like Proper, right, who's been amazing since he's come in to the professional Overwatch scene. Just like, it's mind-boggling to think, like, yeah, he hasn't won like a world championship. He can probably taste it right now, how close they are.
And watching him play, it always seems like he ends up in an advantageous position. He's on an off angle, playing from the fringes of the fight, as opposed to Lip, who often finds himself surrounded by a Brig that's trying to stun him, force him back, even Juno's shooting him in the face, he's dealing with a Malga cage. It just seems like Proper is set up for success, but he's putting himself in the right spots.
You never get the sense that Falcons is caught off guard by anything, right? Where, on the other side for Crazy Raccoon, right? There's like, Proper's over on the side, right? Here's, a cage fight coming on through. It looks like they're kind of caught off guard a little bit by some of the things that Falcons decides to do in some of these fights, or even Falcons just kind of playing a little bit further back, not taking the fight to them. I think it's definitely made it very difficult for Crazy Raccoon, especially in this head-to-head matchup with these comps.
And in a metagame like this, it's really hard to identify where someone like Falcons is finding these edges, right? The eye test just sort of says, oh, more of them are left alive after this very scrappy engagement. But there are little things to look at, right? Positioning of Reapers, whether the Brig's able to get these big rally bashes and if they can save them for the right time. And just a matter of when these Malga charges are coming in. Every time we see Junbin go forward, it looks like it's in desperation or there's not a lot of backup for him. Hartman says, I'm waiting for this. I was waiting for you to come to me. Cage throw down or ignore the Malga entirely and hit the back line. There's a lot of minutia to look at. And of course, for that, we have our experts on deck to break it down. Let's head to the desk.
Much gentlemen, back to our experts who have been sitting here with their eyes glued on the screens. I mean, we've got to be real, right? In the current meta, it can be very hard to really identify those little moments that turn the tide in those big team fights. It's not just, let's all dump our ults and see how we end up with it. No, it really comes down to those individual positionings and to enabling different players or the players enabling themselves to execute what they want to do. And Falcons have just shown absolute dominance in that regard. They've been able to read the game 5 steps ahead. I know exactly what their win conditions are.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Falcons have such a great understanding of the tough task that Chorong has been dealt here. Of course, with the rally, you're able to stun the Reaper out of that Death Blossom. But we've seen players like Proper, arguably the best player in the world. He makes use of the knowledge of when Chorong has that rally and when he doesn't have it. And we've seen him time and time again go for these flanks. This Death Blossom right here, catching Shu early, of course, and that is going to result in fights where it's actually quite winnable for Proper. We see him go on the flank. This is something we talked about in the upper bracket earlier in the tournament as well. That Proper has a great understanding of when to flank and also when to dive in with that Death Blossom when there's maybe no rally stun available, but Shu is trying to drop that Orbital Ray as well. So Chorong, a lot of pressure on him to perform here, but Proper is just playing so well around him on this Reaper.
I feel the neutral game for Falcons is really elite right now. Crazy Raccoon is starting to look, frankly, a little bit desperate, and I don't blame them because some of these moments are just so perfectly timed from Falcons. I feel they really understand the map position. Every time they fight, they're choosing the perfect location, the place where they have the strongest spot for Reaper, right? When you play these Reaper duels, a lot of it, we used to, in our pro match, we used to say, you either have the Reaper gene or you don't. You've got to be fearless to really play this character at the highest level. Sometimes these Reapers drop down a 100 HP, 50 HP, and it's the Reaper who refuses to press Wraith form, who gambles their life, that actually does tend to snowball ahead, earn their team the advantage, and that just completely can eviscerate the opponent. So Proper, I would say he's got the Reaper gene, guys. It certainly looks like that.
I feel like Proper is the gene of everything.
Yeah, but that's exactly the thing with this team, right? Necra touched on this as well. The fact that both of the DPS players can just switch over to that Reaper, it just goes to show how much talent is there. Here is the map stats. Obviously, Falcon walking away with this one. What do we see here, Reinforce?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta say that, you know, Team Falcons are looking quite clinical here, able to deal with all the damage coming their way. But I feel like, you know, we've seen Junbin, for example, be under a lot of pressure on that Mauga so far. And Junbin's positioning is something that Falcons really have abused. Mitch talked about it before, throwing over Joss's course. So Junbin could be a Mauga player to keep an eye on if Team Falcons are exposing his position.
Right on. Now, Jake, when we just looked at the general highlights, you mentioned something. That is the positioning for Falcons when they decide to engage in those fights. You actually managed to grab a very particular moment in the game to highlight that.
Yeah, so last map, we looked at Oasis. We looked at a spot where Falcons played it passive. They played it slow. The map favored them. They counter-engaged. Here, it's the complete opposite. They read that this is a forward choke that they can really hold. They cap point, but they don't stay there. They move right up to the next choke, get up close to the enemy spawn. Reapers up here on the high ground off angle. And look where they're taking the fight. I mean, Crazy Raccoon wants to rotate. They're not sure what's happening. Now Proper Wraith form all the way to your backline and just absolutely dives in. I mean, they're fighting very far from the objective, and this fight is incredibly scrappy. Crazy Raccoon traded out. It looks good for them. It looks like, oh man, maybe they clutch this out, maybe have Falcons overextended, but because of all these trades, Falcons back off. They regroup to their spawners, and despite this fight looking like it ends pretty decently for Crazy Raccoon, in the end, Falcons was in control that entire time. They hold on to that cap, and they close out from there. And that's Falcons' willingness to find these moments where, you know what, it's time to go. Like, when Proper's Wraith forming into your backline, there is no retreat for him. Like, if there's any gap in the trust in the team, if any player says, hey man, I think you went too far, maybe we should, no, then you've lost. You've completely failed the team fight. But Proper has that faith. The team is behind him. They're gonna come in when he makes the call, and they've been delivering on that promise so far in this series.
Dude, your amount of happiness when you see dominant performances like that, that's unmatched. Like, this feels like Christmas over here, right in his face. Let's talk about the maps we still have in the pool here and what the right way to go is. I know you've been wanting to see that Gibraltar. Is now the time?
So the thing about picking Gibraltar is, I think strategically it makes sense. It's like, look, it's a map. We completely changed the tempo. Probably going to be dive mirror, like Winston mirror on a brig, maybe, you know, hit scan tracer. So you know, oh, here it does.
Got it, Jake.
Yes, he got
there it is. So, I mean, I think this is a double-edged sword for Crazy Raccoon, because this is your trump card. This is your ability to change things. If you win this map, it's like, great, we got one on the board, but it also shows weakness. It shows that you're shying away from the Mauga meta. And in the end, guys, this series is going to be decided by the Mauga Reaper. Gibraltar is big, but now it's like you really have to win. This is your big moment. If you lose this map, I mean, this is going to be, I would say, mentally unrecoverable for Crazy Raccoon. Like, they are staking their claim that the hit scan tracer, it's time for Lip to show up and show us why he's the role MVP, why he's earned so many MVP awards over the course of his career, so many championships. This is Lip's moment. Shu as well. I think these are the guys to watch here in the server.
Yeah, we know that team has what it takes. They just got to show up right now on Gibraltar. It's going to be a treat. I know that for sure. Speaking of treats, we do have CB John standing by with Alex by our stage.
That's right. So you may have seen her in Calling All Heroes as well as the World Cup. It's CB! All right, let's go ahead and break this down, Steves, because, you know, this is a wild result that we're seeing right now. Falcons up 2-0. But for people who probably haven't watched Overwatch, coming in for the World Finals here to watch these two teams clash, is this a surprise result, or is this something that was written in the stars the whole time?
Oh, no, it was written in the stars for sure. These two have been the best teams all season long. No one else has come close. It's been these two back-to-back, blow for blow, going at each other's throats left and right, and no one else has come close, except for, you know, a couple others in Korea, but, you know, here it was these two, and it was always going to be these two.
Well, now we're going to Gibraltar, and you were hearing Jake pretty much just like call the entire thing, play-by-play wise. This is a last-ditch effort here for Crazy Raccoon. Is this going to be doable? Can Crazy Raccoon manage to come back, maybe force that game 4, get that reverse sweep happening?
I mean, it's got to happen now. If it's this map pick, this is their map pick. The only one where you can get lip on a hit scan. You can maybe play the ball if you really pull that out. Up to you. You know, you got some options, but it wasn't working. And if they don't break from the meta, they're done. And it's their only map pick they're going to get that's going to actually, like, play to that.
Well, makes sense. All right, well, we do have one more special thing as well. If you happen to see CB walking around the venue, I gave her a couple of battle pass codes. So why don't you go ahead, find CB, take a picture, get an autograph, because she's awesome. She's going to be tearing things up in the Overwatch competitive scene commentary-wise. Guys, give it up one more time for CB! And let's send it back over to your casters.
Have to agree with a lot of what Stevie said, right? I mean, it feels like the Hail Mary has left the hand here for Crazy Raccoon, but hey, a falcon in the hand is worth two in the bush, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this feels like a desperation move for Crazy Raccoon, but they are in desperation mode, right? I know you
already.
Yeah, I mean, I know you lost 3-0 earlier. You're down 2-0 now. You don't have much else to play with. You might as well try and throw something into the mix that could change things up.
We need to be clear, though. This doesn't guarantee anything. We have some subs here, of course. Falcons going to a different map, so Smurf comes back in, and I wonder, what do they have to answer a potential lip hit scan?
Yeah, so when we heard the subs, it's a little bit
it's
different.
Happy!
So we get Happy in for proper. So Happy, we know he's a tremendous hit scan player, phenomenal Widow. Coming in here now, potentially to play something along those lines here on Gibraltar.
When asked about it, Coach Junkbuck said, I mean, Happy was actually supposed to play, in theory, in the APAC finals. There was just no occasion that allowed for it. There wasn't really, like, the maps didn't quite come up, but he was ready to go. He was waiting in the wings here to have a chance to turn up and show hit scan. So we get a Lip versus Happy, potential, likely, hit scan duel on this map of Gibraltar. And this is what I mean. There's no guarantee that this gambit pays off for Crazy Raccoon.
But what else do you do? I mean, you have to kind of take this opportunity, right? You know, you're getting to pick every map here. You might as well pick a map that maybe you can play something a little bit different than Malga, because obviously on Gibraltar, there's a ton of high ground. You need to play for that high ground, constantly really long sight lines. So it is one of the only maps you can force something different.
So reset yourselves a little bit here. Departure likely from our Malga metagame into something more dive-oriented. Winston, a change of backline, maybe Arnold Brig. And dive DPS here alongside potential Widowmaker. Ash play is always an option. Often see Tracer paired with that.
Right now, it's the #1 versus #2 seed. It doesn't look like it from what we see. These two teams at the moment is Falcons putting in the work. So Falcons all-star here on defense. Right, I love this as well, right? If you can get like, you know, Happy, start get going on the Widowmaker, get like a first point hold, takes any signs of life away from Crazy Raccoon.
Yeah, so much is going to come down to these initial picks from Widowmakers. And a lot of work needs to be done from the Tracers. They're the ones that want to follow up this Winston dive when possible. Fielder is on his best roll. Shu's probably on his best hero as well. Let's go, folks, off to Gibraltar for a wild ride. As Crazy Raccoon come on the attack side here. Tracer Widowmaker, mirrored comps.
Yeah, I mean, you can't sort out a win, right, with Lip on Widowmaker and Shu on Ana. I don't know what else you can do.
Might be the best look here for this Raccoons roster. Chio pops into that side room there, shield up, knows Lip is likely inhabiting the bridge. Some poke down here from both our tanks. Smurf is currently looking for an opening and waiting for Stalker to be in position to make some kind of dive happen. Points 9 hits, but Lip's actually with a Bionade. Junbin also affected by that.
Yeah, it's more like the biggest thing there is that Junbin gets hit right. It kind of forces him back. Going to allow Smurf to take control of that top ridge. That we see the Tracer battle on the cart. You're going to see this constantly, right? Just trying to stop that cart from moving from underneath that underpass.
Yeah, Happy was looking into the underpass, now heads back upstairs once more. This time Shu suffering from a Bionade. Field has been hitting a lot of these nades, but he inherently has an advantage with those because he holds the high ground, can lob those down and connect onto one or more targets. He's also going to be really hard to dig out of this position.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, now Happy gets the first pick. But it feels like if you're going to hit these Bionades constantly from Fielder, eventually Smurf is going to be able to follow it up. And now Smurf coming through with 2 kills here. So there's one player, we always joke, like bringing in players who are cold in the back. There's one player you could probably bring in and just kind of play Widow just off the street, right? You could have plucked Happy out of the crowd, put him up there, and he probably would have been fine.
That's deflating for Crazy Raccoon. They get stopped in their tracks here. Basically in the first fight, it's a pick that starts it off right. This sees Chorong taken down. and then Smurf looks to get involved. He's built a Primal, as has his opposite number, and it's going to be nanos for both sides.
The infrasight here as well for Falcons, so that's going to delay things you imagine here for Crazy Raccoon.
Up to the server room here goes Junbin, but he's being chased by Stalker. Pulse bomb attempt, unsuccessful. Junbin is sheltering in the bubble for now, but he needs to find a way to get out because Chio was hot on his heels. He pops Primal just to escape, chase Happy. He's got to give up on that. Shu's being picked to pieces by Smurf.
He tries to chase, I mean, yeah, sure, he chases Happy all the way out, but the rest of his team is just getting carved up by Smurf.
Wow.
That's not even the nano used there for Team Falcons as well. That's that imprecise. And also, it's Stalker doing a great job just pressuring Junbin down to the point that he has to use Primal.
I think so. Oh, nice pulse. Okay, that's going to catch on a Happy. Big opening there for Crazy Raccoon. Rally comes out from Chio, though, as Chorong goes down. He's by a bio. Smurf follows it up. He almost had his rally, too. Just as Crazy Raccoon looked like they'll be able to get started, they get knocked down to size.
Smurf has played by this bridge the entire round. He's not been forced out of this position whatsoever.
Junbin's going to die with Nano. Oh, that was close. Lip finally gets involved, picks Smurf off. Junbin had to get a nano there from Shu. Chio is the one getting nano this time. That's very, very hard to kill this Brig, but a bio is going to help. Heastang's able to run him down where healing was not possible. And finally, Crazy Raccoon get going.
You're going to get another fight here, though, if you're Falcons. It's just you need to keep Fielder and Stalker alive. As you end up losing Fielder here, you're not going to have a ton of healing now.
Crazy Raccoon push up here. There's a good chance we see a cap. Junbin's going to play through that doorway, but there's a couple of seconds. No, Falcons give it up. Checkpoint here for Crazy Raccoon and a time extension.
Yeah, you lose Fielder there. There's no way you're going to be able to keep Smurf topped up if he jumps on to the point to try and keep that contested. You already did a pretty good job. Get top ship control, and that's going to be a good way to do it as the Widowmaker duel goes in favor of Happy.
Happy waiting for his opportunity to get to the stage here. Looks like he's been well and truly warmed up already. Stalker did fall to a Bionade here, but Falcons adamant about maintaining this shuttle position. If they get forced out of here, things get a little dicey. Infrasight from Lip here. Now Happy has another thing to worry about, but Lip's being forced out of position. Smurf gets in his face, but Junbin gets the job done. Picking Fielder. Oh my goodness, how? Is he allowed to get away with this?
I mean, that's all three repair packs from Chorong used onto the Widowmaker, just trying to keep Lip alive.
He's staying with the recall. Opts not to go for the pulse bomb there, and Stalker is trying to hold the Junbin back for now. All the Falcons looking to group up on that left side, high ground, and Junbin wants to get in their face. He's got a Primal. That's going to be a problem for Falcons as Heastang goes into an epic duel with Stalker, who's trying to back away, but he gets a repair pack. Pulse attempt from Heastang fails. He gets out with a card. The cart! Chio has to attend to it. Stop it in its tracks, but Stalker got caught out in the open mat. Picked off by the Widow. Happy least trades it out. It's Junbin falling for Crazy Raccoon. They're going to keep going, though. Shu nanos, Heastang, a trace and nano of all things. But Smurf has the antidote. A Primal here to get up to the high ground. Deny it away from Lip. Then drop down. Slept up, though. Hit with a Bionade, and now he's in a bit of trouble. Needs to stay out of the line of sight as the cart rolls back.
He does get in line of sight, though, of Fielder, right? So you're going to be able to top him up. It's a lot of good progress, though, for Crazy Raccoon. A nano, though, available here for Smurf.
Chio's in trouble, having to back away here. It's going to be a rally pop by Chorong, and Lip has a good sideline, but does he have the target acquisition? Chorong's down. Nano for Smurf allows him to net a key kill on the attackers. And they're now slowed up, dispersed. Lip doesn't have an opportunity to take the shot. He's being pressured down too heavily. And what a bubble dance from Smurf. Shu didn't know what hit him.
And just the pressure that Smurf is putting on Lip every time we are on board with Smurf, there is damage going down onto Lip. Just not trying to allow that Widowmaker to get set up in position. Look at this, they push up a little bit, see if you can get Happy to get an early pickoff right below a minute. A pick here would be huge.
Gonna stress Chorong out there. He wants to play that high ground if he can. Junbin there sets up on the low ground around a health pack, and Lip was hoping to catch Happy as he slid across. What a tight angle. This is a gamble for Lip. This is time ticking away. Chorong flattened already by Smurf. On that left side high ground, Crazy Raccoon are trying to set up, but they're being disrupted constantly. Nice bio under pressure there from Shu. Chio is brought down as a result, but Lip is gone yet again. Stalker holds a pulse here if he needs to stop this attack. The momentum is already draining away. There's 15 seconds left.
Yeah, you're leaving some of these players alive here towards the end. As you see, it's going to be both supports on the high ground here. Smurf's going to have the primal.
Drew's in trouble, knocked off the high ground, a couple punches. He gets the repair pack though from Chorong. Now the Brig, gonna be under scrutiny. Smurf wants to go forward yet again, but decides it's enough just to hold the Raccoons at bay. He's low, eventually taken down, but Junbin elsewhere with the primal is also hit with a biotic grenade. He's saying needs to contest here with a rally from Chio is gonna be a problem. There's a stun on the other side of that shield batch if it connects, and he gets the tracer, but he's able to recover. In goes Junbin now, and Chio is caught out. Crazy Raccoon, the attackers might have found an opening here. Fielder has to play from outside of the bubble, and he's saying it's a pulse to work with, but Stalker's already out of the picture. Fielder, what a sleep! But can he stay alive? He backs up to the stairs here. The card's so close. Overtime almost ran out there, and Smurf will not be moved, but a big fire is going to put pressure down on the Winston. Now Smurf is 1 HP, eventually crumbles, and the Raccoons are far from done!
And there was a little brief moment there when Fielder hits that sleep, and then Smurf comes out. It's like, oh, we've seen this story before, right? They're going to clutch. A Crazy Raccoon, and they end up coming out on top. And they're quite fortunate that they got so much payload progress early on, right? Those early picks from Lip allows them to get top shuttle control, almost gets that second checkpoint right away. I mean, you have an early fight win there for Falcons. You would have been in a lot of trouble.
Crazy Raccoon managed to stabilize a little bit. Chorong now with rally, that's
with a bio.
dangerous. Okay, he's kept alive. He's able to back up here as Junbin looks to go elsewhere and found Stalker out in the open. Smurf getting close to another primal here, but needs to build it up. Yep, he respects the damage now, comes back in with Chi and Fielder. They're being harassed by Junbin. What a 180 sleep there from Fielder. Happy elsewhere though is brought down, and Crazy Raccoon now seem to have found a higher gear. They're on the road to the end of the map. 30 seconds left. Falcons will look to stop them here with a Pulse Primal combo.
Final corner will be Smurf though with a Primal Rage of his own. Coming out of spawn, Stalker gonna have to go with a huge pulse from here.
They spotted him.
Yes, hit on the corner, contest. They're doing a nice job. They're not getting him out of this position.
Stay alive is the plan for Stalker. So far, so good. Junbin gets into the back line with the Primal, disrupting the back line. Smurf here, Primal, but the stick is good. Chorong goes down now. Crazy Raccoon with 4 to work with. Desperately, Chu trying to heal Lip up. Infraside is working wonders though as Junbin is the cat amongst the pigeons. Chio is low on the cart now. Has to try and go for a rally to stay alive. But what a stick from Isang! Is that going to be enough? Can't get it close. And you better believe that Crazy Raccoon get him that completion. I took everything they had.
Signs of life, finally, from Crazy Raccoon as they get control there towards the end, get it across the line. No time in the time bank. You saw where Falcons, a lot of those players playing in those corners, contesting, that's because Lip has that huge sight line that they do not want to walk out directly into his view onto the payload to try and contest. Trying to force those players out onto the payload. They do that towards the end. Even there, they do a nice job with Shu really pocketing Lip, keeping him alive on that Widowmaker with Smurf putting all that pressure.
Crucially, he also provides an infrasight for Junbin,
Yeah.
who's trying to find the right doorway to block the supports from coming back out. So he knows exactly where he needs to place his bulk and get amongst it. Make it impossible for Falcons to properly reinforce for that last fight. Okay, it took everything for Crazy Raccoon to finish the map, but that is a good sign. Now let's see them back up that offense with a staunch hold on defense.
Well, especially because sometimes these Widowmaker comps, right? It takes a lot for things to develop. Time comes off the clock. Lip gets a kill, right? More time delayed. So this is a scenario where maybe they're not as worried, right? You know, your Widow starts to get some kills. You're in a good spot to take the map.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smurf on the hog. Just looking for a hook, yep. He enjoyed that. Reliving the glory days for just a moment before we're back to business.
Yeah, and remember on the defensive side how oppressive Smurf was on top of that bridge, staying in control of it. Let's see if Junbin can kind of navigate that area the same type of way.
Crazy Raccoon should have that same inherent advantage based on positioning here. Junbin stakes his claim to that causeway. Does not want to let Smurf just chill and get healed up.
Now it also helped for Smurf, right? That Fielder is landing 2-3 player bios all the time, and another 2-player bio there. That's like to the high ground. Hasn't even hit that. That connects on Junbin and Shu.
Junbin's having to find Gio though at the very least here. Happy trying to protect Fielder, trying to peel for his honor. Too much to ask for a Widowmaker, and that's a successful first fight for the defenders.
A little sneaky Junbin 3K there. Back bio from Shu. It'll be Stalker putting some pressure there. On a lip, they want to get this payload moving. They want to get it under that underpass, force it all the way to the server room, force Crazy Raccoon to move back.
Playing through the underpass now. It's been set up looking for the Widow. Yep, that's the dive over towards Happy. It's going to be a while before Heesan can join them there. But Lip has plenty of room, and it's going to be Chio going down first. Chu's currently anti-heal, but Heesan taking the game over. So much so that Lip can just sit back and wait for his moment to come alive. What a slap! Stalker reeling after that one, and Happy, he's trying to get out of dodge. Oh, Heesan will get that one too.
That's a pulse bomb. Yeah, I saw it.
He just killed everyone. Just quietly.
Sick pulse bomb there, connection towards the end.
Pick off.
This is also, look, Crazy Raccoon in a great spot here on defense. Primal now for Junbin. Gonna have double support on. But this also allows, Heesan starting to come alive, right? You don't want to give these players confidence. They can get right back in this series.
Nano here available for Fielder, but there's Lip getting a big pick. Happy finds one back in response, awful fast, and has an infrasight. Likely is waiting to use this until Lip uses his. Fielder falls though, despite a Bionade connecting onto Shu. They're not able to get rid of the Raccoon's Ana. And Junbin once more is busy ripping the limbs off of Happy.
Man, this has been dominant here from Crazy Raccoon. We said they need to show signs of life. This is a map that they obviously would have went to because it plays their playstyle a bit better. And now, these look like completely opposite teams, right? Falcons has been dominating Crazy Raccoon all day long. It'll be insight from both teams, so both Widows gonna have that knowledge, everybody on the field as well, so you're not gonna see much happen here for a little bit, but actually it's gonna be Smurf there, with the benefits of the Primal gonna get two.
Just the Primal, really? There's an infrasight here in this fight, but Smurf does so much of that work. Shu had a nano, no chance to use it. Now Raccoons just hope they can group up enough to have another fight here.
They know that's coming too, and maybe they actually just didn't want to kind of use anything, right? You don't want to invest the rally or the nano to try and win that. Maybe you think you can come back to it again.
Junbin has the Primal, I think, here to try and stall. Bubble on the high ground, that drops, so does he. There's a nano opportunity from the high ground here for Fielder as the defender started to walk on. Last three, Lip! He's punching out Z's while Fielder is punching out Light. Two gonna fall, both Ana's now off the table as Junbin's still holding onto this Primal, and he may not have to use it here. The pressure is immense. Too much as Chio crumbles, not long after his shield.
Smurf gonna have to back out, so Crazy Raccoon, you hold on to those support ults for that moment, right? To get on the point, get a touch, and now below 30 seconds, right? Primal here still available for Junbin. Happy over to Cassidy here, just gonna counter that Venture on the other side. Smurf's gonna have to go crazy with this nano.
One last fight for the attackers. Team Falcons have been stymied at every road. Now at 5 seconds left, it's go time. Chorong, first target to Smurf, but he peels off that one. Just wants to take some space here around the card. Lip on the bench here, wants to be a nuisance. Also, he's going to be hard to catch, but Fielder ducks him from above. A big Bionade connects onto the Tracer and ends him. Primal here is those for Junbin. He's going to be able to make a little bit of time. Happy is down, but he gives up his life as that Shu will have to fall here. Junbin, though, clears some space. Chorong full stop, but who's on the card? It's just Smurf. Fielder steps up. A bona fide 2 versus 2 for the map here. And Junbin is chilling inside the shield, staying alive. The reinforcements are here. The cavalry has arrived. And Heesan goes to work on Fielder with Chorong who gets the kill. And now Smurf with a desperate Primal is trying to buy a little bit of time. Still in overtime. Note the high ground. Barra presence for Happy. Anything he can do to try and win the map. The Smurf falls to the Venture and Lip doubles down. And now we have a game. That's more like it.
Chorong and Junbin stay alive there. Smurf not able to get the break out of the way for Crazy Raccoon. And they have a great spawn advantage, right? They just walk right out, get back onto the payload. They get themselves a map win. Tons of confidence now as well, right? They're starting to play a little bit better, although we'll probably go to something completely different meta-wise, right? Back to what we said in map 1 and 2. Still, you've got to feel like, okay, we can take this game to them, right?
Absolutely. You are at least able to start to believe. I think I just played it down a fair bit. Like Jake's like, okay, there's a good chance that Crazy Raccoons can win this map, right? They're almost anticipating that would be the case. But we got into the round, we got into the game, and it didn't look like that was going to be what happened, right? Both teams really suffered on that first phase of the map, the first phase, or rather, a lot to talk about here in Gibraltar. I'm going to take a breath. You at home, I'm sure, need to as well. Let's head to the desk to have a look over Gibraltar.
That's right, Mitch. Save your breath. These two will be yapping on behalf of all of us. There's a lot to talk about here. We're taking it to Gibraltar. That was, as everyone stated, the best chance for Crazy Raccoon to finally get something going. They showed us very clearly why they're such a scary team once they get to play that dive composition.
The ripcord has been pulled, and it worked, man. It paid off big time. Crazy Raccoon are right back in this series, building some confidence, man. Heesang and Junbin were so aggressive this entire map. They were opening things up time and time again. This was the performance we needed from these players. If they can continue to deliver, this could be just that bright, shining star of hope that they needed.
Well, you needed some momentum on the board, right? And as much as we talk about, well, you know, you're not going to see this composition, you take every map you can get in the grand final. Because again, like you've been talking about, Jake, you want to prolong this series so you can potentially re-pick Ilios if we get back to a second control pick in this series, right? But this is what they do best. Looking back at history, of course, in the Asia main event playoffs as well, I mean, they have traded this map pretty back and forth. And so, you know, you look at the substitution, maybe Happy coming in, doesn't fall to him, of course, because Heesang and Junbin play so spectacularly. But Proper's been a standout on this map before as well. They've traded 1-1. Falcons did full hold Crazy Raccoon just a month ago. And now this time around, Crazy Raccoon come out on top like they did in the Asia main event grand finals, of course. So, an incredible back and forth, Zoe.
Absolutely, and you mentioned him as well as we just started looking at those highlights. Heesang had a phenomenal performance, and he was going up against Stalker, arguably one, if not the best tracer we currently have in the world.
Yeah, Heesang outperformed though. I mean, for me, like a lot of these fights open really strong for Falcons. It's like fielders finding these bio-nades, sometimes even picking off a backliner. But the trades come in, Junbin and Heesang, not only do they get the kills, but they stay alive, they keep the resources high, and they are those players that you want in the clutch when they keep delivering this way. They're the last ones alive, they're closing it out, and that defense was spectacular from Crazy Raccoon.
Absolutely, and I think the stats will very much mirror what we just got to see on the server.
That's what that full hold does to you, Zoe.
It does, it does.
That's what it does to you.
Low numbers, not good.
Low numbers, not good indeed. Yeah, I mean, Team Falcons, you gotta say, this is what they do so incredibly well, though. You know, Fielder was so good on the Ana, like you said, Jake. But on the other hand, you have Shu. These are the two best Ana players in the game. And then you have Smurf on the Winston on one side, really trading back and forth, Zoe.
It really was. Another player we mentioned during the highlights was Junbin, and yeah, look, that dive composition is just right in their wheelhouse, and Junbin really shown here, Johnny.
Yeah, there's a specific clip here that I wanted to showcase, of course, from Gibraltar as well on third point, when Crazy Raccoon really got some momentum. Stalker here, double blinks, forced to recall, and Ananate comes to Chorong, but he rallies to stay alive, and Crazy Raccoon going to capitalize with Junbin and then Heesang as well, following him up, getting Stalker because he committed 3 blinks and the recall immediately, and then they take this 5 versus 4 advantage to just keep steamrolling here. That is going to give lip positioning on the high ground, of course, as the Widowmaker as well, and Falcons forced to commit to the card to try and stall out the payload. But this was just an amazing counter dive from Crazy Raccoon, Chorong popping the rally to stay alive as well, and then Heesang capitalizing. When we talk so much about Stalker's tracing being phenomenal, in this case, Junbin on the Winston, closing out the third point especially, with the help of Heesang there to follow up on Stalker's committed blinks.
I feel Chorong, you know, when I watch his break, one thing I really feel is that he really knows the limit of the character. I mean, it's easy, not easy, let's say, but it's a lot easier to play a more passive style of brig and to hold back and defend your teammates, you know, heal as you're supposed to. But Chorong finds these moments to essentially bait his own life, to dare the enemy to try to kill him and then, you know, slip out by the skin of his teeth. That tiny little difference, you know, if you die, if you overstep your bounds, it's a huge mistake. It could lose your team the game. Even if you succeed, you bait the dive and you live, it might not be enough to pay off and actually be worth it. But Chorong is so consistent with knowing that line, knowing the limit of what his opponents are capable of, and just sort of daring them, baiting them in, making them overextend. That creates a lot of opportunities from for his teammates. So spectacular performance on the brig. I think especially in the Ana brig comp, Chorong and Shu are just about the best to ever do it.
There indeed. Now, the great news is the Gibraltar pick worked out. We're all excited for it. We got to see the dive. Yay.
You can't pick it again, Zoe.
That's right. That's the conundrum here. Let's take a look at which maps are still available for us, because where are we taking it is now? It's likely going to end up back in the Marga Mirror.
Well,
like,
Falcons
did they avoid it?
certainly want to go back to Marga Mirror. And I like this King's Row pick. The one other map I was thinking about in the pool, we didn't see it at all this tournament, but Hollywood, sort of, there's some hope to play dive on second. I don't think it's actually good because first and third are so good for Marga. But in the end, King's Row is at least closing out the hybrid pool. This is a great pick for Falcons. I hope they do keep the Echo, though. I feel this Genji, Proper, as good as he is on the Genji, I think it's a bit of a bait this meta. I think the Echo's too critical, and Falcons has to roll swap when they do their Genji strat. They put Proper on the Genji and Stalker on the Reaper. I think they should just stick with the bread and butter, the Reaper Echo. That's what they've been winning with. That's how they close out this.
Yeah, especially when you're rolling with the Echo, like there's no need to swap away from that. We've seen them, of course, have individual moments, like proper with the Dragon Blade, of course, getting some sick value with that, and the deflect comes in handy in this kind of meta as well. You do gotta stay away from the Echo though. The focusing beam is lethal since it goes through the deflect. But yeah, I agree with you. I'd say just stick with the Echo for this time being.
Right on. Well, we're going to see very soon what they have in store for us. But of course, I want to hear it from our former pro players. What's going through the minds of those players right now? Do they have their sights already set on like, well, maybe if we lose this one, the next one? Like, is it really just map to map, like figure it out as you go?
I feel this is do or die for Crazy Raccoon right here on King's Row. This is a place they need to get a win, right? You just got a little bit of at least emotional momentum winning that last map, feeling that, you know, we are good players. We can actually make this happen. For Falcons, though, I don't think they're going to be affected at all. You can just toss this result that, okay, whatever, Gibraltar, you win the Winston Mirror. Congrats, guys. Back to the meta, back to the mirror that we've been stomping you on. I mean, if you're Crazy Raccoon, you're not going to be feeling good going back to the Amalgam Mirror, but you're going to be forced to here on Kings, and this is a place they can turn the series around. If they win here, that'll at least allow the cost pool to open back up, even if Falcons strike back and win the next map. So for me, this is the moment that Crazy Raccoon can turn the series around. If they win here on Kings Row, the trophy is really in play. If they fall here, I feel that it's going to be a 4-1.
Yeah, despite though, even if you get off to a good start, that could be a huge boon for this team as well, because you won a map now, and then if you happen to get some momentum in the first round of King's Row, if you get some momentum then, that could be, you know, a boost of energy, of course, and help out with the communication, maybe you can communicate better. Now, there does seem so, like the difference is bigger than just communication. There is something that Falcons is doing better in this Amalgam Mirror, and we've covered it extensively on the desk when it comes to the Reaper play, and when it comes to like holding the space and protecting the space. Falcons are just overall better here. But if Crazy Raccoon, they start to get some momentum in this matchup, that could potentially feed some of the energy for the rest of the series.
Indeed. Raccoon has initiated the comeback. Let's see if they can also just continue on that trajectory and ride that momentum. We'll find out very soon as we're heading into our next map. But first, we're going to send it over to Alex by the stage.
Thank you so much for that, Zoe. Yes, so I'm joined by a special guest. Go ahead, say your name. Where are you from?
I'm Jasmine. I'm from Virginia, United States.
All right, give it up for Jasmine. Fun fact, I met Jasmine at Toronto last year for the last Overwatch League event, and now here we are for the first ever OWCS Finals. So look at that, history repeats itself. But you're a Crazy Raccoon fan, you've been cheering on the boys. What do you make of the series so far? They were able to get the win. How did that make you feel in the moment?
Oh, it was so exciting. I think they're playing amazing. I really think that this map was so crucial to the win that they're gonna get.
All right. I like the positivity. Now, of course, this is going to be a tough matchup for sure. Do you have a prediction of what you think Crazy Raccoon are going to be able to do here?
I'm not entirely sure what they're gonna pull out of their pockets, but I know that they're gonna do something wild up there, and it's gonna have everyone cheering.
That's right. It could be a 4-2 result. We'll see. Now, Jasmine, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. We were there for the last, we're here for the first, and we'll be there. I mean, who knows, right? As far as we possibly can go. Guys, give it up for Jasmine. First time in Sweden here. She's awesome. And let's send it over to Danny with another special guest.
Thank you so much, GB. Hey, we just heard from a Crazy Raccoon fan. We have a Team Falcon fan here, Psycho from SSG. Psycho, we were just talking about that, who's gonna win this match. You told me that it's gonna be Team Falcons. Do you have a reason why you're rooting for the Falcons?
Well, I'm rooting for Raccoons, to be honest, but I feel like Falcons will win the game because they're better at the Amalgam Mirror, at the Mauga Echo Reaper Mirror. So Raccoons, what they're trying to do is pick as many non-Mauga maps as possible. So you'll probably see them go for Ilios next. But to be honest, there's not many non-Mauga maps left. So I think Falcons will end up winning.
Well, I mean, you did say you are rooting for Crazy Raccoons, but it's going to be, you feel like it's going to be Falcons winning the match. What do you think Crazy Raccoons can do in this situation to, I guess, overturn the result?
I mean, Mauga Mirror is a pretty ult-heavy comp, so it all depends how you use your ults. And I feel like Raccoons just have to clean up how they use their ults because they've been layering their ults pretty poorly. They've been using like 4 ults at once, and Falcons have just been doing a better job with that.
Yeah, great point. Psycho, thank you so much. Everybody, give it up for Psycho one more time. Thank you guys so much. That is it. Casters, take it away.
Great to hear a little bit from Psycho there. In my opinion, like one of the best Western Echo players, especially in the world. And someone who's been around the scene for a long time, representing Austria. So, yeah, one of the few sort of pro players coming out of that region. But he makes a great point. So we got a lot of fun. I'm having fun. Hopefully you all are as well. We saw Gibraltar. We got to go back to a bit of our dive mirror with the Widowmaker action. It's high-flying stuff. But there's still the question of whether or not Crazy Raccoon can actually eke out a win in this Malga meta.
Yeah, I think, obviously, as Psycho mentioned, I think they need to do a better job just kind of like layering their ultimates and whatnot. But I also feel like, I mean, that map was so huge. Obviously, you don't want to go down 3-0. But to go into the back to down 0-3, I mean, the vibes would have been horrific back there, where you win a map, right? They make some subs. We go to King's Row. Like now, you're feeling like, hey, we're working our way back into this one.
Yeah, it's something that's less tangible, I guess, than what we're sort of seeing strategically out on the stage. But the fact is that Crazy Raccoons only have like one map pick left to them, right? They lose here, they get to choose a map, they have to win that map, and they won't get to make any selections after. So they might have something in the chamber. But for now, we're going over to the classic battleground of King's Row, a map where we should still expect to see a lot of these Malga comps.
Yeah, and I think for Crazy Raccoon as well, you're looking for their DPS line, right? Like, can they bounce back and continue to play at a high level? We saw Happy for just a little bit. Now we go back to the proper show.
Yeah, the prince that was promised stubbed back in. Looks like he was determined not to lose over those first couple of maps. A huge part on Reaper of why Falcons were able to look so dominant in that matchup. I see Han Bin here as well, stubbing back in. I guess not a noted Winston player, right? Back, you know, he played alongside Fearless, right, for many years, where Fearless was that Winston player. Han was more tasked with the flex tank play quite often, so great to see him here. Max actually comes in for Junbin. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a curveball, right? A little bit of a change up here for Crazy Raccoon, right? We've seen Junbin pretty much throughout this series, so we'll get an idea of what they want to do. I mean, maybe there's another option they feel like they can go to here.
Over the year, we've actually seen one or other of these tank players be the preference for Crazy Raccoon. Like the Ramatra Rush Mirror in the metagame, Max was that Ramatra player that often came in, right? We sort of feel like Junbin has maybe more flexibility, or shows us like the Wrecking Ball option. The Malga has been very, very good here. We also saw that great Winston play from him on Gibraltar. So I'm excited to see what they look to do here. Not every team has that extra tank player in reserve, and these two are some of the few. Like even SSG would like to have had their tank in reserve, but it was Vistola from where to go for them.
Yeah, I mean, right, you would love to have the luxury of, you know, 2 tanks at this caliber of play on your roster. There's not many in the world that can do it.
Teams are doing it now, right?
Somebody like Toronto, right, where someone can play really like all of the tanks that we see in the meta at like an extremely high level. That's you know, obviously just a one-man show there for them, but you know, a lot of teams you look across like EMEA, the rest of NA, right, would have had a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, Vistola Chase, right? KSA comes in alongside Hardy on that SSG team, as we spoke earlier. Pardon me. King's Row, our 4th map in this series. Then a 1st to 4, so we're lost here for Crazy Raccoon. God forbid, would not end things. But like the Des pointed out, it would be a pretty grim sign. Right? They need to be able to win one of Crazy Falcons' map picks at some point.
See Crazy Raccoon on D here.
2, 1.
So they'll just have Max come in here, play that Malga. Maybe they're just looking for a little bit of a, because the desk has pointed out, right, and we've been talking about it, right, the positioning maybe from Junbin at times. Maybe they just want to get a different look on Malga.
Yeah, how much of a difference does it make just to have a different individual, different flavor here on your tank role? Also could be switching to something later on potentially, but this is a good start here. Chu goes down, Sticky Bombs claim him now. Proper dealing with a little bit of attention. It's Max and Liv that are trying to stare him down.
I mean, there's been a little bit of a difference in terms of tank, but for me, I mean, Proper has been so aggressive on the Reaper, so impactful. I think that's where you got to start to even up the odds.
Crazy Raccoon fold back after that early engagement. It was a trade of kills, not enough really for Falcons to be going on with. Stalker keeps Liv quiet from that high ground, and here's a mutual knockdown between the Malgas on the point. A lot of cardiac overdrive going on right now. Harper needs most of that focusing beam, though. The damage from Heesang was right where it needed to be.
As Proper kind of just gets in front of Hanbin there, tries to take some of the damage. You have both Malgas taking a ton, right? Both stomps come in, the cardiac overdrives, but they're able to deal with Hanbin early. That kind of eliminates all Falcons' staying power on the point.
Heesang's not back yet. Nice little pick there on the back foot by Stalker means that Crazy Raccoon have to play off the point entirely. So in the choke and through the hotel, other defenders set up. They're going to try and punch through the choke now. I think as Chorok just plays out in the open and charge to the point for Max, and a cage fight going to be thrown down, and Death Blossom here for Lip as well. So much damage thrown into the mix. Stalker gets rid of the cage eventually. It's Proper actually falling. Lip doesn't seem to be bothered playing inside that orbital ray, but now it's too much to handle. Stalker with the Duke, Death Blossom leaves it up to Heestang as he copies a Mauga. Falcons though get in there and get the result.
Yeah, I mean, just the damage value you get from Stalker getting that Reaper in play. Like, I know, obviously they make changes to Duke a very long time ago, right? In terms of like max HP you can acquire, right?
Like
so
300 is the most.
Yeah, so you're gonna have less HP than a normal Mauga, right? You get an extra cardiac overdrive, good for sustain. But with 2 Reapers on the other side, they're still not able to deal with Stalker rather quickly. He's able to get tons of value.
Yeah, copying the Mauga definitely feels like the less optimal option. There's probably some edge cases where it is the play, but maybe not there.
Yeah, you're almost better, you know, getting like a support, like a brick, right? If you're looking for like sustain and just kind of staying power on the point.
Into the choke we go here. Crazy Raccoon doing the most to bear their fangs here in the Falcons. Here comes the push though. Cage fight going to be deployed there for Harmon, and Proper just blows it open. He's saying a Torong immediately vaporized under the pressure of this man.
I mean, Proper has had a tremendous series, right? Every time we're on board with his Reaper, like not exactly in the front lines, he's like taking off angles, right? He's always kind of sneaking up on some of the supports there for Crazy Raccoon and just making an overall large impact. There's going to be a lot of payload progress here, gotten by Falcons. They're going to get towards this final corner.
Think back, Crazy Raccoon had a couple of good defensive fights on that first point. The Falcons still have a lot of time back to operate.
The dupe available here for Falcons already, so it's going to be Stalker going over the top, the Reaper yet again.
As expected, and that means that Max is going to be under the pump. Maybe the Wraith Walk here for Stalker, so a much big DPS loss, but hey, he comes out with the Death Blossom and adds it to the mix immediately. Lip there can't do much about it. Death Blossom and another Reaper looking at him. Proper has also built his ultimate. And the momentum looking good for Team Falcons here. From one fight to another. They've now built up ahead of steam, and they're into the last phase of the map.
I mean, 2 Reapers with a rally going as well for Fielder. No way that Crazy Raccoon is going to be able to fight through that. So Team Falcons makes quick work of that second checkpoint. I think if you're Crazy Raccoon, you have an advantage here. You know, with that double support ult, you got to use it, right? Get up to that corner, get an early fight win, start to up the pace.
And Crazy Raccoon frustrated. It's not been working out. Even with Max coming in to relieve Junbin. There it is. Okay, Proper trying to spin to win there, but the orbital ray for Crazy Raccoon comes up most of that Reaper damage. Now amidst the beam, Shu trying to fight his way out. He gets rid of Stalker. And an important stop here for Crazy Raccoon now. 3:45 to play, but a chance at least to breathe.
Yeah, it's an absolutely mandatory fight win there for Crazy Raccoon. Shu using the orbital ray early on. Proper comes in with a Death Blossom. That Death Blossom has Chorong pop that rally, go for a stun. They do it Proper fast, but Falcons at that point probably is okay with the result, right? Never want to lose a fight, but seeing both support ults gone, so it's probably okay with it.
Reduced Reaper, Proper not quite ready for it, but Heestang has to back away. There's an orbital ray in play for Team Falcons, and they've almost flipped the map. Crazy Raccoon on the outside looking in. Need to find a way to stop this card. Heestang goes for the high ground first, but he's duped here. He's eventually going to drop down. He probably won't have a chance for any Death Blossom actions here, and he's back in Echo form. There's a cage fight active though for Max now, and Heestang can just play around the fringes of it. It's Chio for Chorong, that's the trade, but a later cage fight for Hanbin now. He's a Death Blossom of Lip. Struggles to find value, and Falcons eking out these small value trades.
Yeah, the duplicate comes in there for Heestang, right? But because of that orbital ray, they like flip sides of the map, and you're no man's land as Reaper, right? You're not able to get any type of damage by coming out of the spawn. Here comes Crazy Raccoon trying to get a hold here towards the end, which they should get a stop. Still a lot of time on the clock here.
Yeah, it's really hard now. Your buffer has started to expire. If Crazy Raccoon take their foot off the gas defensively, the map is going to be over. But that was a great shoulder charge out of spawn by Max, catching onto the Reaper, putting Crazy Raccoon in the front seat.
When Stalker goes with this dupe, though, of the Reaper, Crazy Raccoon needs to deal with him fast. They cannot allow him to build up towards that Death Blossom. You're going to have 2 Death Blossoms on the field yet again.
All right. Oh, no, it's going to be an extra Mauga coming in here for Stalker. Fielder's going to hold the front line here with that rally, and Max just gets blown to smithereens. Ooh, that is rough stuff. Proper gets in there, knocking heads together, and Team Falcons finish the map with just over 2 minutes to play.
It's one of the only times we've seen him go for the Mauga there over the top. Right near towards the end of the map. Double cardiac overdrive, just pushing him back. Proper, I believe, at a Death Blossom there towards the end, right? So maybe you get that extra cage fight.
When you get a lot of space as the Mauga, right?
Yeah.
You could build a cage fight, you could lock people in an area away from the car. At that point, Falcons felt like they were playing with house money with both of their DPS ultimates online. It's a respectable 2 minutes and 3 seconds in time bank.
It's also huge for Falcons, right? Because, you know, as we were talking about, like the vibes for Crazy Raccoon, right? You're starting to pick up a little bit. You win Gibraltar in a big way, go into the back, like, hey, maybe we got something going here. And Falcons just comes out here in the first half and is like, no, 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 we're still the same team. Just because you got your map pick and you got the forces to something different doesn't mean this series is going to have a different outcome.
I don't expect you to have an answer to this, but do you see anything different with the substitution of Max in here?
Not entirely, to be honest. No, we haven't really. You're not going to play anything different here on King's Row, right? You're going to have to play. I mean, what? In theory, like against Maga, we've seen teams try and play like Queen. We've seen teams try and, against that Queen, play like Zarya or Ramatra, but like, it's not going to happen here. We know that. So I think you're just kind of looking at, maybe, Junbin, we were talking a little bit earlier, the desk was talking about it, not in the best of positions. Maybe you're just trying to get a different look on the Maga in play.
The Falcons on defense here.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Crazy Raccoon hope to blow straight past them and get a bigger time bank. 2 minutes and 3, that's quite a climb. They're going to have to be quick.
Yeah, and considering, right, Falcons, they just kind of ran through that second part of the map. So it's going to be Crazy Raccoon here on offense. It'll be He's trying to take that high ground.
Great pick, but it's going to be a trade in the end. Both Echoes go by the wayside. It's going to be Max here, center stage. Looking to try and garner Harbin's attention, but he's being mostly ignored here. But hey, there's backup. Eventually the Malga will give up the ghost here, and Builder's shield does not cover nearly enough ground. Nicely done for CR. A good start here.
He couldn't ask for a better start, right? Falcons, it took them a little bit to take that first point, but then they kind of cruised through the second part of the map. Here for Crazy Raccoon, you end up taking point A pretty much instantly. Not even really a full fight, just kind of like run through. You pick off the kill early on from Heesang, and then you kind of parlay that into a fight win. So now you can actually get this payload moving a ton of time. You win another fight here, like around this first corner, you're in great shape.
Absolutely. Falcons don't want to take that fight too early by the looks of things. Proper waiting in the wings for this cart to move close. Despite losing that first fight, Falcons still have pretty even ult charge here. Prop's hoping for a little bit more. Now for a big death blossom, but the Orbital remains. He can play amongst it. There's the blossom. Lip has one of his own though, and Prop just seems to be supercharged.
And the Orbital Ray in those chokes. And then the death blossom there. Proper on cleanup duty. A team wipe there for Falcons. This is going to be tough, right? For Crazy Raccoon to break this chokehold is Haunted and Co. You can play with that Reaper right on that off angle, right? The Mog on the other side. Echo kind of doesn't really have to put themselves in harm's way. Looks like they back up though here now. Looks like maybe, it's going to be a cage fight for Max. Catches Hanbin, but I don't know if they're going to be able to finish him off.
Looks like they wanted the fight on the corner to Crazy Raccoon, but that cage is now down. He's staying stunned up briefly, looking for a shoulder charge connection, but doesn't find it. Would have been Stalker his intended target. He's able to slip through and get Shu with the Death Blossom. A TP to the backside. He'll be ready with the Echo cooldowns when they're needed. And in we go. Stalker pops out now. Sticky Bomb's deployed. Looking for Heesang just a tickle. Falcons here have still managed to maintain this position. Max is too low. Those stickies are going to end him.
With Crazy Raccoon, they go around the corner and they use that cage fight, and you get Hanbin in it. When you do not get that kill on the Hanbin, and also, like, Fielder doesn't even pop that rally during that, right? So then the cage fight goes away. You come back, you use the rally, then you have a healed up Hanbin. You push right on through with the Death Blossom, and the Reaper there from Stalker. That's a must-win scenario early there for Crazy Raccoon. They don't win it early. That's going to get a lot of time bled off the clock.
Stalker needs to get into the fight here, but he's looking for Heesang first and foremost.
On the Reaper. Just doing work. The cage fight comes on through. They're staggering out Max here.
He's not getting out. No way.
Focusing beam finishes him off. Now, look at how bad this is, right? They've gotten 2+ minutes off the clock, and Robert just goes in way too deep, because here you're going to have double support ult, right? You could have still just played in this choke.
Falcons look like they're happy enough here, just forcing in and feeding. Trying to land this quickly. Stalker's pick on Heesang probably isn't going to amount to anything, really. Carpet is being staggered virtually, so he knows he needs to stall with his life.
Yeah, but it feels like proper. You push in so deep there, you don't necessarily need that. You would have had a huge ultimate advantage in terms of supports there. You could have played at that corner yet again. We'd be about 2 minutes on the clock, right? You get below 2 minutes, you're in a great spot there.
They've let a lot of time off, man. We have over 5 minutes on the clock as Crazy Raccoon were pushing into that first choke. Great defensive effort here from Falcons. With the Falcons down, of course. Stalker. Passive to start, but then a dive into the backline. What can he find here? Proper stand up instantly though, a dead loss from Lip. Finally, Lip finds an edge! Playing second fiddle for Proper for so much of this series. Now, he's online.
That is huge there. Crazy Raccoon will have a chance to even set a better time bank. Lip uses the TP, get to the high ground here. Gonna try and control this, right? Because you want to have Heesang control this area. It's so effective for the Echo.
Yeah, you cannot allow someone like Proper or Stalker to perch up here. Even Chio.
Well, even if Stalker goes up and starts to put down some fire like across his range, he's gonna be a little bit caught off guard by Lip.
Dive to the back line. Heesang actually ends up getting caught out by the torpedoes, but Lip gets rid of Chio. So no 2-0 here for Falcons defensively. But their DPS are still firing in all cylinders. Lip with a TP forward here, or rather back to his team. Is losing that one player there, losing the Echo, slows them up.
Yeah, you lose a player early there for Crazy Raccoon, but it also felt like Lip is the one who kind of has to make a play there, right? Up on that high ground, needs to try and find a pick onto a supporter of the Echo.
All right, 2 Reapers in play. Heesang goes for the Duke now. And there's a focusing beam from Stalker. He's waiting in the wings, but Heesang, nice little dead blossom there. Proper and Field are both caught out by that one, and Crazy Raccoon still have a chance to have a time bank lead at the end of this map.
What do they have to work with, though? You kind of look across. You're going to have Stalker here with a dupe here. On the defensive side, it's going to be just contested. It's going to be Crazy Raccoon. They're going to back up. Maybe you're going to start working towards one of these support ults of the cage fight.
Max, on and off angle, could be caught out of position here, and they're looking to try and punish the Malga for being out in the open here. Max is able to charge away. Hanbin can't catch him with a stop of his own. And Stalker wants to push up and try and derive some value from this dude. Oh, he gets it!
And that was a stop on a Torong when he pops the rally and you deal with him right away.
Now that ultimate's gone for nothing now. Fielder's able to use his to full effect. Crazy Raccoon want to force back, but this is likely just a bluff. They're still lacking that 5th player in Torong. Bang, Mamoira, okay. Gonna go for it again. Cage fight here for Crazy Raccoon. They're trying to catch the overextended Falcons inside of it, but Proper's gonna be there with the Dead Blossom. Disco dancing in the middle of the fight. It's gonna be Lip to bring him down, who has a Blossom of his own here. Hanbin turns tail, gets back to the rest of his team.
Being Crazy Raccoon, they use a cage fight and orbital ray there. And still come out on the bad side in terms of the trades. Those are scenarios you absolutely need to win. Like Psycho was talking about, layering their ultimates, not playing it properly. That's an example right there. You use those 2 ultimates in the spawn, you don't even get a full team fight win.
Oh, Lip gets the high ground. You mentioned how important that is. Crazy Raccoon able to get him up there, but can you convert off that pick? Stalker might be down, but Raccoons have lost Torong here. No one's answering Lip though for the time being. It's Hanbin trying to get out. Finally, Crazy Raccoon inched forward, but they have no chance of being ahead on time bank here. They just need to finish the map.
No, it's going to be a dupe here from Heesang. He's going to go for the brick just to try and stay alive.
It's worked out so far. A rally could be built up here, and he's going to have 8 seconds of dupe still to work with. Maybe superfluous, maybe unnecessary, but Crazy Raccoon have to pull out all the stops here to finish the map.
Yeah, and that was Fielder's rally gone as well. As it's going to be a cage fight. They actually catch the brick.
All right, Torog down first. Yeah, Stalker's able to find that.
That's brutal. I mean, he's got rally.
That Crazy Raccoon. I know, down to 4. That is brutal stuff. A key misstep just as they were poised to try and finish the map, and they've been reset. They've been sent back to Lumbridge.
And you can see through the X-ray, right? Hanbin's kind of like lurking on that corner, and then as soon as he sees Torong around, he's like, thank you, just traps him in the cage.
It's an absolute free kill there. Rally for Crazy Raccoon, they've got to go for it. Stomp comes in, Hanbin's got to be knocked down, but choose the one that falls for the sticky bombs. The defender's imperious right now. Falcons do lose Hanbin though. Frontline missing. Stalker trying to replace him in the meantime with his dude, but my god, it's worked! Now charging into the fight. Good stop, but he's going to get a cage fight off as well. Stalker can do it all! Crazy Raccoon starting to run out of juice. Max trying to get away, but there's no chance for a full fight for the attackers.
I mean, now you're below 10 seconds. You're in such a horrible scenario. Max may not even be able to make it back.
They're going to catch him.
Choron going on the Lucio, trying to get there.
Okay, Max does get out, but he needs a long time to get healed back up. Time is ticking. Touch here for Choron, but he has to give up his life now. It's going to be a dupe use there. Stalker switching over to the Cassidy, and Proper dives deep into the massive players from Crazy Raccoons. And there's not much you can really do from here. Sharp is the kiss to the Falcons' beak, and Crazy Raccoon are feeling the pinch.
The gap here on these Mog compositions just might be too wide as Falcons. Although I know Crazy Raccoon, they get off to a great start, right? No, the second point though, Falcons start to put together some defense there towards the end. Just a few times. I mean, it's almost crazy that Psycho was mentioning it, and then we kind of see it happen in real time. using a lot of these ultimates in fights that are just not winnable, and then just stacking them on top of each other, really, with no chance. And then Choron gets caught out with a rally there, and then dies to the cage, and then there towards the end dies again without getting any of the rally. You have to switch. I mean, those are things that at this level, in this match, cannot happen.
And it's a crash back down to reality for Crazy Raccoon. Right in the high of that Gibraltar game, they came in and looked pretty good, right? Had a couple good defensive fights there at the start of King's Road. And in fact, for most of the map, they look like they'd be in a good position, but they crumble at the end of that defensive half. 2 minutes available to their opponents. A lot to talk about here, but one thing is for sure. Team Falcons are, well, they're far from done. Let's head to the desk and talk about what lies ahead and what we just saw.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Back to the desk, back to the wrinkly brains of Johnny and Jake, and I'm here to guide us through what's going on up there. There is, of course, a switch up we're seeing here in this next map. We're taking it to King's Row. Falcons obviously wants to go back to that MAGA world we're all living in currently. But Crazy Raccoon, they came into this making adaptations. Max is coming in, so we have a different type of MAGA player, and we saw that difference in playstyle very early on.
Yeah, I felt Max was looking pretty good at the start. I mean, I don't think it's really up to just the tank to radically reshape things, but that's the hand you're dealt as Crazy Raccoon. I think this makes a lot of sense. This is the position you're in the Grand Finals. Give Max a shot. See if this adjustment can be enough. It looked pretty decent, but man, it's this guy on your screen, Stalker, still so fearsome on this Echo.
Yeah, I mean, going into this match so far in the MAGA meta today, Crazy Raccoons, they were 0-5. So you need to change something up, right? I think at this point we realize that they are not favored in this MAGA matchup at all, so you sub in Max instead, who did see, a couple of maps play time so far this tournament, most notably against Toronto Defiant, I believe, yesterday. But so far, Falcons, they look so dominant in this matchup. Stalker, like you mentioned, Jake, so good on this Echo as well, and they continue to just get value. Crazy Raccoons are not able to find any momentum on this competition whatsoever.
It really is clinical from Falcons. They're in control of this match. They feel it. They know it. These are players who, they're not only they're hungry for a world championship, for that trophy, the title, but they're also patient for it. They're not forcing it. They're playing it really slow sometimes in these engagements. Their aggression, when it's warranted, is immaculate and honestly wild to watch how aggressive they are, how hard they commit as a team. But also in these moments when the advantage swings against them, they're perfectly passive, they're patient, they're waiting their turn. I feel Crazy Raccoon lacks their usual composure. I think they feel how difficult this mirror match is for them, how strong Falcons are in this comp, how good their read is, and there's a lot of moments here where Falcons, it feels like they're forcing it, or rather, sorry, Raccoon feel like they're forcing it because that's all they have left now, right, is to force hero plays, to go for broke. But Falcons, they're waiting with open arms, ready for that kind of, unwarranted aggression without the proper ults. Here in this final fight, Chu got picked off like 2 or 3 times on the spawn. That is not normal. That is not something we expect to see out of Shu. Falcons are putting the screws to them. Look at, I mean, he's ready to pick the trophy up. Look at this guy. He feels it.
Yeah, and as we're looking at our stats here, obviously we did see a Crazy Raccoon almost bring it to the end of the map. Falcons, of course, having a good time bank there, so it would have still been a struggle. What are we seeing here, Reinforce?
Yeah, I mean, it's been even so far, and that's what happened in this matchup, right? It's all about securing the frags when there's so much sustain. Lifesteal going on as well, because, Falcons, you gotta reiterate, they're doing such a great job utilizing the Cardiac Overdrive to keep their Reaper alive, and as well as their Echo alive in these Death Blossoms as well. You pointed it out, Jake, as well, that, the lifesteal in the Orbital Ray especially, there's still so much healing going on, and so you see that Proper plays with confidence with his Mauga. The Cardiac Overdrive enables Proper to go deep into the backline, find picks, because he has that trust of the Reaper lifesteal, but also with the Cardiac Overdrive, and that is making a massive difference for them.
Yeah, and you're talking about that confidence. Frankly, on the other side, there were many occasions where it looked more like desperations, and Falcons were ready for it.
Yeah, it's hard not to be in that position as Crazy Raccoon with this meta being so dominant and being, so many maps in the pool are gonna force you Amalgam Mirror. And like you said, Johnny, they haven't won a map yet on this mirror. Here we see a clip where, Falcons have a slight player disadvantage. They're down 1 from the last fight, and so Max just swings the corner with Cage, tries to snowball forward, but Falcons are just ready for it. They're not just holding the corner passively, scared, ready to back up. They know, our spawner's going to be here in a few seconds. We will fight you 4v5. We will trade with you without even a bit of fear. And Stalker's back in with the Reaper copy, comes to close out the fight once again. And I mean, this kind of confidence looks unshakable from Falcons. With every map they win, I feel that they're only getting stronger. They're only building momentum.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, they're so proficient at this kind of composition, right? And here goes the second clip that I wanted to showcase as well. This case, Max uses his overrun as well, and then has to peel backwards. But we see a duplicate come in onto the Mauga, and then Falcons are going to push the momentum. We love to talk about momentum on this desk, at least I do. And you see a clear example here of how quickly Crazy Raccoon, they found themselves down one ability, one overrun, forces the cardiac overdrive, of course, and that means that Team Falcons, they know they have an advantage in that regard, and they can push that momentum, the duplicate onto the Mauga, and you have two Maugas running you down, pushing into your spawn. That is what Falcons do great. They recognize the momentum, and then they push when they have an advantage.
Nightmare fuel, that's what that is.
Two Maugas running you down? Yeah.
Do not like that, not one bit. Or you get two Reapers,
Both hearts pumping.
Like, have fun, have fun. Yeah, no, not a position you want to be in, quite frankly, and it's rough, right? This is match point now for Team Falcons. They are this close to hoisting that trophy. That means also this might very well be the last time I get to chat to the two gentlemen here on the desk. So any final thoughts you have before we're heading into the action? Jake, starting with you.
It's Proper's time, man. This guy has yet been denied an international trophy, the championship he has so craved. He's won all the MVP awards, but I don't think that's going to be good enough for him anymore as we go to Esperanza. I think this is Proper's moment in the sun.
Proper looking to catch his first World Finals championship trophy. Probably the best player in the world.
And now it's his time to prove it on this very stage. Team Falcons getting very, very close to get themselves the title of our inaugural season OWCS champion. One map away. Before we're heading into all the action though, we want to throw it back to an interview that Danny actually got to make with Team Raccoon, Crazy Raccoon, before all the action even started. Let's hear what they had to say.
Everybody, Danny Lim here. Welcome to OWCS World Finals interview. We got Crazy Raccoons for a lovely time with these three gentlemen. Hi, everybody. 박수 있다, 박수.
박수. CR에서 DPS를 맡고 있는 희상입니다.
CR에서 딜러를 맡고 있는 립입니다.
와.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. CR에서 탱커를 맡고 있는 준빈이라고 합니다.
와. Wow, Crazy Raccoons, everybody, yeah! After you guys won Dallas, after you guys won EWC, you guys seem unbeatable. But, you know, something happened. It was Korea stage, and also it was in the Asia main stage that you guys unfortunately lost. Tell us how you guys felt afterwards.
일단 결과론적으로 말하면 이제 코리아 스테이지랑 아시아 스테이지 둘 다 이제 팔콘이라는 팀한테 내주게 되었고 마음가짐들이 좀 더 나약해졌다라고 생각을 할 수 있는데 진짜 다 마지막이니까 이번 연도. 제일 좀 큰 대회기도 하고 다른 저희가 우승을 놓쳤던 대회들보다 그래서 꼭 이번에도 우승은 메이저 대회 우승은 가져가야겠다라는 생각을 하고 왔어요.
You guys unfortunately didn't get first place in two of them. Do you guys feel like, are you guys a little worried coming into Stockholm as well?
약간 어떻게 진 것도 제가 생각하기엔 저 때문에 졌다고 계속 생각을 해서 이번 대회가 좀 더 간절했던 것 같아요.
Favorite moments in first year of OWCS? You guys played a lot of matches. I'm sure you guys had your personal favorite moments, and kind of want to hear that from you guys.
뭐 당연히 델러스 우승할 때랑 EWC 우승할 때 그거 말고는 뭐 딱히 기억나는 건 없고 그냥 결승전밖에 기억 안 나는 것 같아요.
저는 아시아 첫 번째 아시아 결승이 제일 기억에 남는 것 같아요.
왜요?
그때 그 전 스테이지에서 코리아 스테이지에서 저희가 팔콘한테 졌었는데 그 다음에 제가 복수를 하고 나서 좀 기분이 엄청 좋았던 그게 계속 기억에 남는 것 같아요.
저는 델러스.
왜요?
MVP가 나와요. 네.
그거 좋다. 갑자기 생각났다. MVP 받고 after you won MVP, you got a special watch, right? The Porsche watch, was it? Are you actually using the Porsche watch that you got from Dallas?
네.
팔았어요.
안 팔았어요.
중고장터에.
안 팔았어요.
팔았어?
아니야.
진짜 솔직히 한 번이라도 차고 나갔다.
계속 찼어요.
계속 차고 다니던데?
진짜?
네.
장난.
Alright, let's talk about your rivals. Is it Team Falcons?
유럽 팀 아니면 북미 팀이 좀 더 낫지 않나? 네. 제가 해봤을 때 제 개인적인 생각 일단 좀 팔콘이 좀 요즘 많이 못 하고 있고.
진짜? 오.
북미랑 이제 유럽 팀을 많이 보지는 못했지만 확실히 아시아 팀들보다는 약간 색깔이 좀 많이 다른 것 같아요.
좀 더 뭐랄까 개방적이다라고 해야 될까? 한 판을 져도
이제 이것을 무조건 메꾸기 위해서 이제 열띤 토론과 뭐 피드백이나 이런 걸 엄청 해야 되는데 좀 제가 뭐 작년에 뭐 해외 미국도 가보고 했었고 제가 느낀 거는 좀 더 약간 개방 약간 좀 프리한 스타일 그러니까 뭐 약간 아시아 쪽은 약간 무조건 히트 스캔을 넣고 조합을 일단 굴리고 싶어 하는 것 같고 반대로 이제 다른 두 지역은 히트 스캔을 꼭 써야 되는 거 아니면 좀 변칙적인 영웅들을 좀 쓰려고 많이 시도를 한다.
All right, everybody. That is it for the question. Thank you guys so much. Fighting. All right, bye.
Bye.
We may well be on the precipice of crowning our first OWCS champions. It's a quick descent back to earth for Crazy Raccoon after a successful Gibraltar. Things weren't so clear on King's Row. We see Falcons now at match point, Matthew, championship point here. It's been a long year and a long climb, but the summit is just around the corner.
Yeah, and hearing Lip talk about Falcons saying they're not playing that great, bet you'd love to have that one back as Smurf will come in for Hanbin. Or potentially what could be our final map. That'll be the sub there for Falcons. And for Crazy Raccoon, we will have a sub yet again in terms of tanks. So we went to Max there for King's Row. Now back to Junbin.
So both of our teams here have reset to their initial permutations that came out at the start of the series. And that same question still lingers. Can Crazy Raccoon stay alive in this series and find a way to succeed in this kind of metagame? We're moments away from finding out, folks. Let's strap in.
Stockholm! How you feeling today? Let's try it again. This could be match point. How you feeling today? That's right, folks. This could be it, and history could be made here and now. Falcons has an opportunity to lift this trophy, but can Crazy Raccoon stop them? Let's get the countdown on the screen and get into the action as we get ready for this epic confrontation. Here we go. As it comes up, I'm gonna need you guys to count with me. Let's do this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 2, 1, it's showtime!
Who said we weren't an educational show?
I mean, we're doing so good at counting today. I'm blown away.
Yeah, we're teaching people how to count. Two things Overwatch fans love, counting and pigeons. And Overwatch as well.
But yeah,
no,
that's three things.
Yeah, as we head over to Esperanza, I mean, who's really counting outside of all these people? But as we head over to Esperanza, I know we saw the sub come in, right? Junbin for Max the last time, I know, and now Junbin back in. Didn't really seem like there was any difference. So I feel like, they've been running Junbin most of the time. He may as well just go back.
Virtually indistinguishable. For Crazy Raccoon, though, that's bad news. They need to try to find a way here on Esperanza and hope that a different map, a different concept, the fact that we're headed over to push might allow them to find an edge, but really it doesn't matter where they're fighting. The battleground, less important than the flowchart, the structure and protocols of how they played these fights. For what may be the last time this year, we're out of the gates onto Esperanza. Match point for Team Falcons. And the Raccoons are going to leave it all out there one way or another.
Yeah, and first fight here is massive, how it usually always is on push. You see he was proper with a TP. He's getting that off angle yet again, like we've been talking about, doing a tremendous job, taking these off angles, putting pressure on the supports. Chu and Choro.
Guys creeping up. He's saying noticed him trying to get in position, so he's able to stave the flank attempt off for the time being, but Proper is never one to be kept down for long. He's now going to push up there as well. A good little charge up on Smurf. Knocked to the ground as Lip will make sure he doesn't get up.
Yeah, this time it'll be Crazy Raccoon picking up Smurf right away. Now they should get in control of the bottom.
Yeah,
Few players still here though for Falcons, so not entirely over just yet. Is you're gonna lose Chio, but Proper is still on the loose.
Junbin though so healthy here. That light steal though back a little bit of a problem. Proper is actually able to get him to get out of there. He'll have to double back himself and be topped up.
So you get rid of Smurf early, you don't even turn it into anything, right? I mean, it's just 1 meter of progress there for Falcons, just the bot taking 2 steps the other way. But I mean,
You killed the Malga.
Proper's already built up towards the Blossom.
Proper just, again, always asking for a little bit more on that Reaper. Staying in the fight a little bit longer. Not rate walking early.
They're gonna try and bait them in here.
Will it work? Proper explodes into their face here. Crazy Raccoon are trying to back up, but they've already lost Choro. And there's just too much. Their bands are stretched to its very limits. That's That's an orbital ray committed in a losing fight for Crazy Raccoon.
They may have been even a little bit surprised, right? That Proper already had that Death Blossom because coming into that fight, Lip is like 65%, but Proper putting tons of damage down on the Reaper. They play inside of that little cubby. They wait till they get around the corner. Speed ring, you get that Reaper around, use that Death Blossom. Enough damage to open things up.
All right, running it back now. Both teams did make use of those orbital rays here, so no huge disadvantage for Raccoon in that metric. It's the dupes here that are going to be the difference makers. Spurb looks like he was stunned up briefly, and Dumba's going to get a cage fight down. Heastang appears in the middle of it now as a very angry Reaper guy. The wall's going to be broken, but Shu is the first to fall here. Crazy Raccoon put it together. Chorong's rally here goes a long way. It comes out a little bit later, and it gives him that extra bit of durability. And Heastang says, why not take some extra damage? I'll throw a Blossom into the mix.
Yeah, typically those later support ults, always better, right? If you can kind of time it perfectly, right? Where you want to be using that rally a little bit later, but keeping everybody alive, right? You don't want to lose a player and just kind of hold on that rally, then pop it, and then be a player down with rally. You got to time that perfectly. Chorong did there. Allows Crazy Raccoon to get in control of the bot. Going to get a little bit of progress here, but going to be a big fight over this top ridge.
That's still really important. Crazy Raccoon at least realizing they can win these fights when ultimates are relatively even. It's about doing it with consistency though. Falcon's got a nice little 41-meter lead immediately. Fielder drops down there. The sticky bombs put the fear of God in him. He's saying at least able to generate some threat from that position. Now it's going to be Jindin backing it up, but Proper goes for the spin to win. And he'll claim the Malga. Crazy Raccoon are going to be in deep trouble now.
Yeah, they kind of push a few players into that side room. It's a perfect opportunity to Proper to get in there with Smurf, put down some damage. And we've obviously seen Proper play tremendous, huge matches, just never seems to come out on top. Today, though, just a very different vibe from him. I mean, he has taken over a lot of these games on the Reaper.
All right, that's a checkpoint here for Falcons. Grim tidings for Raccoon's fans. Shio, whoa, not expecting that. Crazy Raccoon trying to take a really early fight here. They know they're giving up the checkpoint, but they want to get involved. Still, Proper's able to recover from that early shock. And they're going after him. Fielder with a running in play now. It's going to be Smurf falling, but Falcons have the auxiliaries on the field. He's saying with the dupe will, again, make some space. Crazy Raccoon will be allowed back into the map. Again, a checkpoint given up.
Yeah, but a window of opportunity here, right? You do give up checkpoint, but you're going to have a rally where both support ults used here by Falcons on the other side. It's a little bit of a window of opportunity, right? If Falcons takes this fight fast, you pop rally, you can come back, and you can get closer to tying this one up.
And again, they can maybe take this high ground now, but they're going to have to fight for it. Crazy Raccoon pushing up another Malga dupe here by Stalker. He's staying nowhere to the back line, and Shio just integrates. Perfect sticky bomb connection onto the Juno. Now Heastang might have a little sit down with Fielder. Both supports carved out of the lineup. Crazy Raccoon now will finish the cleanup.
Ooh, Proper, I don't know about that one. Yeah, that one may not have been it, but hey, you're starting to see Falcons throw some of these ultimates, almost like we were talking about Crazy Raccoon, right? Laying these ultimates together, not using them in winning scenarios or winning fights. Falcons there, they end up using their dupe, they end up using their Blossom, didn't really work out their best, where maybe now could be Crazy Raccoon getting back into it, right? Cage fight plus Death Blossom available.
Yeah, they definitely have the edge here. Uncharacteristic mistake for Proper might cause a snowball against the Falcons. Head that early cage fight now. Spurf trying to find a way to get out of line of sight here, but it's not possible. Fielder backs up, Spurf does go down. That's the advantage here now for Crazy Raccoon, and they're gonna snowball it. Then pops out a Wraith Walk, finds a lack of targets in his vicinity because Heastang dealt with him himself.
So the Crazy Raccoon taking the lead. The ultimate economy much better, playing that game here on Esperanza. Know their tournament lives on the line as Falcons still, because these fights have gone so fast in favor of Crazy Raccoon, nothing to work with and Blip.
They're going to take the timing here. Crazy Raccoon always looking for these bursts of impetus and unexpected moments.
He's probably going to wait for the supports to come out early.
Okay, he forced a Wraith Walk. He might have used one of his own, but he goes forward with it instead. Okay, offense is the best defense apparently, but Falcons again are ready for it. They fold back and snap into action with an orbital ray to keep them topped up here. They were ready for that.
So for Crazy Raccoon, you get some progress there in terms of the bot, and it's double support ult yet again there for Falcons. Because, Lip is such a threat right on that off angle, and now you're allowing Chorong to come in yet again with another rally, right? So you're taking some of these little opportunities here for Crazy Raccoon to give yourself a better opportunity in these fights after, in terms of having that ultimate advantage.
Lip forced Proper to Wraith Walk away at a pretty important time. I think Falcons probably needed him for just the damage trades in the front line there. But he got spooked by the 7-foot gaming warlord. Here we go again. Crazy Raccoon want to re-establish some degree of control. Cage fight here for Smurf. He's very, very low. Proper trying to keep him topped up. And there we go. That ultimate looked a lot better.
Yeah, and that's the rally I was talking about. So you did have the rally, but the cage fight plus Blossom, everybody trapped in there, taking so much damage. It's Falcons now getting closer to taking the lead. A duplicate to work with here.
Oh, this is going to be confusing fight.
Stalker and Proper have been so good throughout this one. Proper in the last fight. Can Stalker come up big here?
Falcons close now to getting into the lead. Chorong already set upon by Proper. The guy is absolutely rabid. Stalker ends up duping the Malka here and just sort of folds away from the fight, leaving Heastang in his wake. Crazy Raccoon still have that slim lead and look to stop the Falcons in their tracks. Then Proper's playing it carefully. KG skews the partner around the enemy Malka as he wants to go forward. Lip led the bot away for a brief time, but Falcons are dominant in the fight.
And that was really awesome to see that type of POV, right? Because we're there with Smurf and Proper. Smurf uses the charge, goes on in, and it splits up Chorong and Shu. They're so far away from each other. Shu uses his mobility to get them in the air, go away, but they just kind of leave Chorong out to dry. They deal with Chorong. It's a dupe on the Manga onto the bot, right? So Stalker is able to live there with his supports, play a little bit defense, and that's how Falcons gains an edge.
The edge and the lead. The Lip was trying to lead the bot away, but the fight was already lost. Here's Fielder with a rally. They're going to try and start the fight again, Falcons.
They got to get away.
I think they see blood in the water, man. They can taste it. Lip and Heastang broken and bleeding out on the field. Fielder's able to turn around and make sure that Falcons come out of this fight cleanly. 100 meters on the table and under 2 minutes left.
And you're going to have the orbital rate plus Blossom. Potentially, right? There's going to be a lot of like poke here early on. You could even get up towards that cage fight. Falcons not only want to win by meterage, they want to slam the door home.
What a statement to make to end it here. Junmin charges in, but he's already down to half health. Shu with a bit of a late orbital rage here, but no harm, no foul. Crazy Raccoon still have 5 to work with. Dead Blossom's come out now. Proper and Lip going to find 1 inch, and Lip will fall. The Reapers are off the table. Both teams now operating with 3. Falcons, of course, still in an aggressive stance, but he's staying from the above with a focusing beam. Can try and even the ledger. Chio gets in his face, though. He still managed to get the Juno, though. Real back and forth fight. Desperation for the Raccoons as they scrabble back into control.
But this is going to be it. You have to play perfect from here on out for Crazy Raccoon. You're below a minute. You're down in terms of meterage. You're probably going to need at least 2-3 fights here to get back in it. Falcons, they know that, right? You're going to push up. You have that spawn advantage. Take a fight here on the bridge. You probably have another fight over the next checkpoint. You're in a great spot here of your Falcons to secure the World Championship.
They got that bridge. It's going to be a nuisance for the Raccoons to deal with now. They can come from anywhere, and they take the front door instead. Stop here on Stalker, but he looks to try to make his way through the formation. It's Smurf falling first, though. Raccoon find an edge in the fight, and he's taking again another big down. Blossom. That's how they stay alive. They can't let go of the momentum now, or it'll be all over for the brave Raccoons.
Not today, says Crazy Raccoon, at least for now, below 10 seconds. Falcons gonna group up. No pressure here, Falcons, so you can take this fight around this corner. You gotta get value with this cage. If you trap somebody in the cage for Junbin, you gotta have Lip in there to follow it up.
Here's overtime. Junbin with a charge in already.
Oh, he gets stunned!
Oh, Falcons might have got it done here. An overextension there for Crazy Raccoon might have cost them everything. And the glorious hunt of the Falcons finally comes to an end. The Apex Predators stand at the Apex now as your 2024 World Champions.
Stun at the end to break up that cage. As soon as that happens, they push on forward and they know they've sealed the deal.
And finally, sweet victory for the Prince that was promised. Proper will have his due, will have his moments, will have his glory!
come here, let's go. Unbelievable. Coach Krusty, where's Coach Krusty at? Grab the trophy. Hold on 1 second. Coach, please hold this for me. Team, please join me this way. Guys, give it up one more time for the Falcons! Come on down, guys, come on down. Unbelievable stuff. First and foremost, let's go to Proper. Proper, my friend. All right, you did it. You are a world champion. How does it feel finally winning the big one?
프로포즈 드디어 해내셨습니다. 첫 번째 우승, 챔피언십 우승을 하셨는데요. 소감 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
일단 오늘 진짜 사실 제가 진짜 골을 오늘 진짜 되게 많이 했는데 팀원들이 그걸 믿고 따라와줘서 되게 진짜 감사하고 다 고생 많았고 기분 좋네요.
Definitely feels great. I want to thank all my teammates for supporting all my plays. I was able to do everything that I could do on stage because of my teammates, and it just feels really great to win.
Unbelievable stuff, Coach Krusty. I've been following your career for a very long time. You and I will go way back. How does it feel to lead this team as a coach to victory, to glory, to be the first ever OWCS champions?
It's just like, it's really unbelievable. Like, we made this. I always say that we're gonna make an anime, and actually, we literally like an anime. Amazing staff, amazing player. We could make this. Thank you, all of you guys.
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. Where's Chio at? Chio, come over here, my friend. You have kept this team alive. You've been there time and time again supporting them. What does it mean now to be a world champion, to have this moment with this team?
게임 안에서는 팀원들을 힐러로서 서포트를 해주셨고 또 이제 우승까지 팀원들과 같이 서포트를 해주면서 이번 우승 좀 어떤 의미가 있나요, 치호 선수에게?
우선 저희 팀을 믿어야 될 입장이니까 힐러여서 믿어야 될 입장이어서 좀 한 번씩 꺾일 때도 있고 좀 이상한 데 흐를 때도 있지만 끝까지 저희 팀 믿고 하는 게 아무래도 가장 중요하고 믿었을 때 기분이 많이 좋네요.
Definitely, because I'm a support player, it is my job to support my team in and out of game, and it definitely feels great that all my hard work, along with my teammates, it really paid off at the end.
Awesome stuff, but there's still one more thing for us to do. And where is Stalker? Stalker, come on up, my friend, because you are the tournament MVP! Stalker, my friend, what an unbelievable performance. What is your secret to success? What makes this Falcons team such a force? And is this just one of many championships?
일단 오늘 우승한 거에 대한 소감 그리고 one more time.
What does it mean to win with this team? And is this just one of many championships?
우승한 거에 대한 소감과 지금 앞으로 지금 심정 그리고 지금 기분이 어떠신지?
일단 다 같이 열심히 했는데 이렇게 좋은 결과가 나와서 되게 기쁘고요. 그리고 한빈이 형과 얘기가 많이 했는데 정말 한빈이 형이 고생 많이 해줘서 제가 이렇게 좀 약간 잘 가는 모습을 더욱더 보여줄 수 있던 것 같습니다.
I was able to absolutely pop off thanks to all of my teammates. I talked a lot with all of my players, especially Hanbin as well. I think it was a communication that led us to our victory.
Well, that communication gave you MVP, my friend. Folks, I'm going to let you guys have the floor because this belongs to you. Your 2024 World